Hello, everybody. Welcome to bonus content. It's me, Alex. I'm here. Nabeshin's here. Mike Burgess is here.
Hello.
Mike, now in an indirect way, you are technically an official Irrational Passions podcast host. So,
Whoa,
how's it feel?
that's a lot. About the same, I think.
Exactly. The same as before.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm here.
Tony and Scott are not here yet. They'll probably be here any minute. But in the downtime, I have Mike here, so I can talk about Game of Thrones. So if you care about Game of Thrones season 8 spoilers, we're probably going to talk about the first two episodes. This is
get out of here.
This is your opportunity to leave.
Get out of here now while you can.
Mike, how do you feel about Game of Thrones season 8?
I think it's been pretty solid so far.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's about on par what I expected. The first episode was largely like kind of like a setup of like, here is the status of everyone.
Yes,
because they kind of need to have that. They have it like every season. So it's like I kind of expected that, and I thought it was totally fine. I think the second episode though was very good, very good.
Yes,
I liked it. I liked it a lot. There's a lot of really good moments, like clear payoffs that were like, it's like one of those things where it's like, this is all so good that I think everything is going to go so wrong, like so soon after this. Like it kind of felt, it definitely like, while I was watching it, it felt really good, but then I like was thinking afterwards, just like, man, I think a lot of people are going to die.
This is going to break real bad, huh?
Yeah, this was clear, like set up for some shit to go down.
I'm very much with you in all regards. I like the setting the table episodes. I like the kind of getting everybody into place. Like some of the season 1 episode 1 is very good. It's very iconic. It's very much one of those as well. Introducing you to the characters, kind of setting up the threads that we're going to be following through that season, like John Aaron being killed and kind of like the twists and turns with that. I think there's a lot of good stuff that I think we're going to forget about from episode 1 too, like the like Bronn. I feel like most people have already forgotten about his like little side quest he was given.
Yeah, same with like Bran. I would say this is more so like in the show itself, but Bran telling all of them like, well, by the way, he has your dragon.
Yeah,
now.
like I feel like nobody paid enough attention to that line.
Yeah, no one at all in that second episode. It did not come up again.
Yeah,
and of course it was something.
It's gonna come back in a big way. As early as next episode, or as late as like 2 episodes from now.
Maybe.
Yeah, I liked a lot, and obviously like all of episode 2 is just like basically the thing I watched 7 seasons of a series for, which are like a lot of final moments between characters, and like this kind of everything's out on the table and everything's out in the open.
Yeah,
and just
there's just a lot of stuff. It's not necessarily closed off, but like a lot of somewhat resolutions.
Things being addressed,
Yeah, like things being addressed, like all like you said, like seasons of things going on and like confirmations and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's very good. And obviously, I was very somber throughout that whole season 8 episode 2, just because it's like, man, all these people are gonna die probably.
Yep. Yeah.
It's tragic, man.
I feel like it's gonna. I honestly think it is gonna be like even the amount of characters we think are not gonna die.
Yeah.
Like I think it's gonna be like worse than that.
Yeah,
like in some ways,
it's an 80% drop off, pretty much.
Yeah, like I think there's gonna be a lot of people done. But I'm excited, and there's the crazy thing is something I was talking about with some of my coworkers the other day, where they still have kind of a lot to do too, because like you figure there'll probably be this full episode and maybe a little bit of the next episode they're fighting the White Walkers and trying to settle that conflict, and like that I guess it kind of has to mostly be settled in this next episode for the most part, because they still have to go see Cersei and like deal with her.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious like how that's gonna go.
Yeah, there's this whole aspect, like we don't know what the angle of the season is, if it's like if the White Walkers are gonna win this fight or if they're gonna lose this fight. We really like that's like such a determining factor of like
right
how the rest of the the season is going to go. I would bet, just because like my big inference is like that opening, like the way they've changed it very specifically for this season.
Right.
I would
Yeah.
bet that the White Walkers do completely win.
Mhm.
And the characters here are going to kind of escape to the Iron Islands to regroup, and then
Okay.
the final fight, which will happen in episode 5, will be in King's Landing, and then episode 6 will be an epilogue of sorts. That is my bet.
Okay. Yeah. No, yeah, I definitely think something like this is possible. Or I even see something like while this fight's going on, they're like trying to figure they're expecting like the Night King to, like, that whole setup in the end of episode 2, they were like, all right, the Night King is trying to get Bran. He wants to get Bran.
Mm-hmm.
So like I feel like there's gonna be some kind of like somewhat twist on that potentially,
Yeah.
which I think, or at least what I think would be cool. And I see this scene of like he didn't even go to, he's not even there in that battle. Like he probably took some small force and is like going for King's Landing or something.
Yeah.
I think that'd be like really interesting. And his dragon just kind of like shows up in King's Landing would be a really crazy and cool twist, I think.
I think that could be like a great thing if like the episode kind of climaxes at like the midpoint of it is like the moment the Night King is supposed to show up to attack Bran, and it's just like another White Walker or something. And he's not there, and it cuts to a shot of him flying over King's Landing.
Like, yeah, and just like already like torching it, and
yeah, that could be very good. I think that's definitely possible too. I don't know.
That's where we're at though, right? It's like we don't know.
Anything is possible.
So it's gonna be wild tomorrow.
Yeah, Game of Thrones is all about like subverting expectations and kind of surprising you in a way that, in a very raw, real, grounded way that tends to take people out off guard in a fantasy series, which I really like. It's always been about that, and it's always been really good at doing that. So yeah, pretty much nothing is off the table. Like Brandon Jones from Easy Allies said, like, if the season 8 episode 3 starts with like a shot of Jon Snow sitting at a table, and across the table is the Night King, and then it like cuts out and everyone's just like quietly listening against the door, it's like I would not be surprised by anything at this point. I'm like, boy, if that happened, that'd be fucking incredible.
Yeah, it'd be really funny. Well, what would be the first words out of the Night King's mouth, you think?
Shaboy, probably.
yeah. So
Shaboy's looking to take over, all Westeros. Yeah, I don't know. It's cool. It's similar to like going into Endgame and like that not knowing what will happen.
What's gonna happen? Yeah.
Yeah. Nabeshin, non-spoilery thoughts on Avengers Endgame. How did you feel about it?
I can't really talk about that thing unless I really talk about
it. Just let yourself rip. That's fair.
Mm.
We're gonna you mentioned doing a post podcast Endgame spoiler section with you and me, and I'm very much down.
Okay.
It's a weird thing to talk around. Hi Scott.
Hey.
How are you doing, bud?
Good.
We're in the bonus content. You're here. You've arrived.
I
didn't have time to prepare for this. Scott, how do you feel about Game of Thrones?
I don't.
And that's a completely fair response. As far as like Endgame stuff, I get you, Nabeshin. I'll tell people listening who are on the fence, if you are, I liked it. You should see it. I think you might like it. But it was, for me, it was very nice to not just to know. Like I don't know if you went through a similar thing, Nabeshin, but like not knowing and then knowing was like such a comfort. I was just like, okay, I finally, like, I know what happens. I get it. Like, I don't have to live in anticipation anymore, because it was like getting unbearable, to be honest. And that's where I'm kind of at with this next episode of Game of Thrones. Like this episode in particular, like I've known for a while, it was like kind of rumored that season 8 episode 3 was going to be the Battle of Winterfell. It's like, all right, I just gotta get there.
Yeah, we gotta get there.
And then like
pivotal moment.
I think like the end is obviously going to be very dramatic and like high octane, but the tension is all around this episode, because we just don't know how it's going to go.
Yeah, because and also like the last 3 episodes are longer.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, I think they're hour 20.
Yeah,
each at the
this
last one.
episode is hour 20, and then I think 4 is hour 18. Last 2 episodes are hour 20 each,
Mhm.
which is
So
wild.
this is a completely random off tangent, mostly because I watched it today.
Yeah.
But any of you guys watch Gotham?
I used to watch Gotham, and I was like
So,
pretty
okay.
hard out early on.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Like I think it has a lot of ups and downs. Like I think it has some good moments. But today was this past week was like the series finale
Yeah,
of the whole series, and I watched it today, and I guess somewhat spoilers.
Mhm.
If you I don't think any of you guys really matter that much if you haven't watched it.
No, but to
They
the audience,
they pulled the Smallville for it.
okay.
Like if they basically like the final episode is they had this big fight for the past season, and then the last episode before this one was like Bruce Wayne flying off to go train in the Himalayas or whatever. So this episode comes back and it's a 10-year time jump.
Oh, okay.
And then they basically just like come back and like show like, oh, here's the person who was Catwoman. She's all grown up now and basically Catwoman now. They show her like flipping around, stealing diamonds and stuff, and they like basically show everyone as like the villains they are now.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just kind of like sneakily have Bruce Wayne show back up as Batman, and they never actually like for the whole episode they never really actually show him. He's just kind of like in moments, like he's like following Catwoman around while she's doing stuff, and then like the now Joker, they have like a fight at the kind of the end of the episode, but like he's not ever seen in the fight. He just kind of is off screen throwing batarangs at him.
Excellent.
And then the end of the episode is like James Gordon flashes the light into the sky, and then it pans and shows him standing on top of a rooftop, and then the episode just ends.
Man,
just like
Gotham seems wild.
cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, like I hope they didn't go that far with it, but I kind of also expected it just because
Yeah,
that show's always been like the prequel kind of thing, like Smallville was.
but then it just like went so far off the rails where it was like, nah, man,
It did.
we're gonna let's all these Batman villains actually existed before Batman. Hear me out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, like some work, some they do well, but some, it's just kind of like, yeah, you like this person, right? But we'll just shoehorn him in, kind of.
yeah, he appeared before Batman. No, it's cool. Don't worry, we'll figure it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The only one off the top of my head that I think can work is Black Mask.
Black Mask, I think, does he have a presence on that show at all?
I don't remember, but pretty much all like the big Batman players are like somehow in the show.
Yeah.
Like Penguin and the Riddler are basically like big on the first season. They're like in the show. Like
Those two make sense.
Yeah, like
I should say that those
they
two
make
make sense
for like the entire, like they're basically in it for like the entire run of the show, and then they have like they're not Joker for a lot of the show also, where like they're not calling him Joker, they're like referring to him as his real name, and he's not. And then he's like they keep pulling a thing where like he's not actually there yet, even though we make him do like the things he did in the comics when he was a Joker, like staple a face to his face because his face gets cut off and at one point, so he staples it on like the Killing Joke comic, and then it does like a whole. They like basically do all the Joker stuff with him, even though they don't call him the Joker. It's really silly.
And now he's the hero of a Star Wars game.
Yep, it's the same actor. Like he does like a good job.
He's a really
as,
good
like,
actor. I don't want to
he like nails like the acting like the more comic book Joker of like he has the laugh like nailed. He like has like the stuff down. It's just like the nature of that show is so weird that it just is what it is.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think there is merit to Gotham. People very much like it. But
it's very much like turn your brain off and it's fine.
Yeah, I'm into
show.
that.
That's about it.
Real quick, Scott, I think you might be coming through the wrong microphone on your computer. I don't know if that's possible.
That's not possible.
Do you want to double check your Discord settings in case something's messed up then?
Is this better?
No, it's just like it just sounds very loud. It's like you're screaming at me. Is there like a knob turned up all the way?
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite. Scott, did you get into any shenanigans this week?
Not too many.
Did you guys see that? Damien, my roommate, leaned in to grab his vape off my table.
I didn't see it.
I had to look away.
Yeah, you're good. You're good, Scott. You had an excuse. No shenanigans. I'm trying to, like, I feel like this week is so dominated by Game of Thrones and Endgame. It's hard to like talk around it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, like I did something today, which was I went to a ramen place.
Okay. Where's this ramen place?
40.
Oh yeah, there would probably be one over there. Was it good?
Absolutely. I've been there several times before.
Okay.
But yeah.
Gotta look up some addresses later.
Mhm.
Do you guys want to just talk about video games? Because I do.
Is this
do
a show that we're moving into bonus content and video games?
No, we're moving into the show from bonus content.
Hey, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Let me. I have 2 drinks. I'm good. I don't need another glass of water. I was thinking about it though. Does everybody have Audacity ready?
Hold on. I'm almost ready.
That's how I fix my audio.
There you go. It sounds good now, Scott, by the way. It's back. I'm back within normal realms of loudness. Man, I'm trying to decide if I like Steve Rogers with the beard or without the beard more. I don't know. They're both very good in very different ways. He's such a
That's totally true.
He's a handsome boy. Can't beat it.
Very, very handsome.
I had like a
Beautiful.
at the beginning of this what? Who said he did? At the beginning of this week, I was like, all right, I won't shave till Endgame, which was a thought I had clearly like weeks and weeks too late, so it wasn't like a dramatic decision whatsoever. But before Endgame,
I think about that all the time.
yeah,
So
exactly. Before Endgame, I was like, this is disgusting. I need to get rid of this. So when I was shaving after Endgame, I felt like Steve Rogers. This is what it's like inside my brain. Are you happy now, Nabeshin? You know my secret. I am Steve Rogers.
Whoa.
Oh shit! I didn't think of a bet. That was what I was supposed to be doing.
Can you put on the ether about the back cover of Mortal Kombat?
Oh yeah,
I can't find it online.
Jared
Thank you.
might have it. I forgot about that. Jared might have it physically, so I'll CC him on it. That's how many Ks, right?
Yes.
So good. That's such a good bet. Let me see. All right, give me 1 second. I can come up with a gem of a bet. Next week we're in May, right? Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Oh man, there's literally no video games coming out next week. Wow. First is the second week of May. First releases.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Shit. I guess you know.
How next week?
No. It's at least it's down on the calendar page. It might be some indie stuff might not necessarily be here, so I'm trying to think of a good one. This I guess so this will be out within the next week, so this works. And I know none of us are gonna know it. That's a good one. You can check my work option. See if it is good enough. That's 5. All right. Everybody ready? Oh, we lost Mike.
I'm ready.
Got it. Here he is.
I hit the wrong button.
I was really like, what happened?
Whoops.
I am now not ready.
Yeah. So as soon as you left, Scott was ready. Now I see what it is.
Wow.
Wow.
That was a mistake. I was ready. I gotta go clean this up before I actually hit that button. Probably some water.
Do you just need a minute? Is that it? Do you need a minute, Scott? All right, I'll give him a minute.
It's gone.
He's gone. It sounds like he spilled something.
We lost him.
I'm not gonna spill this.
About Tony.
Not gonna. I texted Tony twice. I mean, you know what? I'll phone call him now that I know he has a working phone.
Oh, can't hide now.
Can't hide from me now, Tony.
There it is. I hear it.
There you go. This is so much static. This is real bonus content.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
He might have crashed if his work schedule is still like it was a couple of weeks ago. Damn.
Dead.
He's dead. Rip the dream. No, Nicole just tweeted out her top 5 games. I was saying damn
Nice.
to the number 1.
I like how you guys started that trend.
Nabeshin is a trendsetter.
Mm-hmm.
It was the
I am here.
Hey Scott, are you okay?
Yeah, fine.
You spill something or something?
Oh no, it was just a fairly large plate
Oh, gotcha.
that was full of stuff I didn't want to put my elbow in.
Yeah, that's fair. I get you. All right, I think Tony might have fallen asleep. I tried calling him. You missed it, Scott. But it's all right. Hopefully he'll get some rest.
It was also full of something too salty, so I really actually needed that glass of water.
Yeah. Glass of water, a podcaster's favorite companion.
Important.
All right. Everybody ready to start recording?
Mm-hmm.
Ready.
All right. On 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When I was recording last night, Blessing had me go 3, 2, 1, click. And we hit click on click the yeah, click boom. We hit the mouse button on click. I was like, this is sacrilegious. I can't.
I mean, I could see a perspective of like he's looking at audio waves and like lining them up that way. Maybe.
No. So then we did 1, 2, 3 clap. 1, 2, 3 clap again. So
okay.
We did a clap sync.
That's weird then.
Yeah.
Extra sacrilegious.
Extra.
Yeah. There's no. He's just chaos.
We've never done a clap sync on Irrational Passions podcast. I'll have you know.
It's fair. Who needs them?
Thank you, Nabeshin, for the appropriate reaction of complete scoff. All right, let's get this party started. I left my inhaler upstairs, so we're going in raw. We're going in wild. It is Saturday, April 27th, 2019, and you are listening to the Irrational Passions podcast. I am Alex O'Neill. I'm your host into the podcasting waters we are about to wade into. Joining me this week, as always, we have Mr. Scott Guthier.
What? No, this is Tony.
Tony Horvath, who is Scott Guthier. This is when you say hello. Thanks, Scott. You ruined my bit. Tony is not actually here. Rest wherever he is, hopefully sleeping. But also here is Mr. Brian Nabeshin Jackson.
I am Iron Man.
You are Iron Man. And joining us this week from the editorial side of things for the first time for the foreseeable future, Mr. Mike Burgess.
Hello.
It's you.
It's me.
I hope you love Persona 5 because that's what you're gonna have to fucking talk about.
I know what is. I don't know what that is. What is that?
Let me tell you about video games, right? So Japan makes video games. No, Mike's gonna have you on. We're gonna have hopefully one of the writers / video / magic makers here every week, and you're the first.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, it will be fun.
I feel special, I guess.
You are special. You were always special, though. You knew that.
Thank you.
Like I said, Scott White was supposed to be here originally, but you got to talk about Persona 5 in its place now.
You're just like, well, we can get this guy, I guess, and then he'll show up.
You got some good games to talk about this week that I'm excited to hear about.
I do.
Let's get things started. Tony's not here this week. I presume he is asleep, like I mentioned before, but podcast moves on. Thanks everybody for tuning in live. Remember, you can watch the show every Saturday night, youtube.com/Irrational Passions. And Irrational Passions podcast, this very show is a product of irrationalpassions.com, which you can find some cool stuff on, such as this week, Mike, you posted this PAX interviews with the staff and PAX Vibes video.
Yeah, the PAX East, I guess it is. It's basically just interviews with all of you guys. I've been trying to do something different this year. With usually I for the last 2 PAXs I did just kind of promos for the coverage we were going to do, but this time I kind of wanted to get a easy, somewhat simple vibe of just when us as a small content creator team or whatever goes to one of these events, what's it like? Why do we go to these?
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing it for? And yeah, so I just kind of dragged you all into that room and just gave you some pretty simple questions and threw it all together. So I think it came out really cool. It was really fun to make as well.
Yeah, I
learned a lot because I don't really do a lot of camera work.
Mm-hmm.
I've done it at other jobs in the past, but not necessarily for IP yet. So this was kind of the first time. All right, I'm bringing my own equipment and setting all this up, and I learned a lot.
Yeah, and I think
at least
it went really well. Everybody was really into it when we were actually doing it. And the blooper reel at the end is so good. It's so funny.
Yeah, that was that. You pretty much nailed it for me on that one of just bumbling through trying to remember how many PAXs you had been to.
Counting for fucking 45 minutes.
Yeah, and then so I was just like, well, I can find everything else I need around this just to pad this out even more.
Yeah,
and it worked out.
Yeah, it was very good. There's just a shot where Quinn just is like, "Fuck." It's yep, that's Quinn right there. Yep.
Yeah, I had multiple from bits of interview that I didn't use from his. I had multiples of those.
Nice.
You just read a question, even though I literally only had 4 questions for each of you. They were relatively simple questions, but for some reason he was always like, "Fuck." Because he reads every question. I'm just like, I don't think they're that bad, but all right.
No, it was very good. Yeah, it's fun. I think what's cool is kind of the extra life stuff has been for the podcast people in the past.
Mm-hmm.
This is really good. Get to know us a little bit better for the writer people. So if you listen to the show and you're less familiar with the written stuff on the website, I would absolutely check that out and then kind of dive in from there.
Yeah, you get to some few shots, and next time around I want to get some more shots of you guys actually doing stuff on the floor, because because it's just the nature of those shows when we're doing stuff, we always spread out and just scatter to different appointments and different things, and especially this year where now there was 8 of us, so it's just always constantly running around.
Yeah, it was a lot of us. I think
next time I want to be able to kind of show what you guys do, or what even any of us do.
Yeah,
when we go to one of those meetings, and there's a little bit of that because I got some good shots of you and Jared talking to the Cuphead guy, and
Yeah, that was actually really good. I forgot you were shooting during that.
yeah, I just kind of got some random B-roll. I was like, this is the only opportunity I'll have to probably be in this Nintendo booth with my camera. So.
Fun stuff too that maybe we can do in the future is like us getting ready in the morning, like our checklist of what we need and what we plan on doing, stuff like that.
Like kind of the more prep stuff, definitely.
Yeah, it was cool. It's really fun. It's like not too long, also. So if you're worried about it being really long, it's a good condensed length, and it moves at a clip. So go check it out. It's on YouTube, just like what I mentioned before.
Yeah, it should be on the site now too. That was I honestly like forgot about it, and then like I think George posted this morning like I'm gonna put this on the site, and I was like, oh yeah, whoops,
it's on there.
It should be on the site now as well.
And we should, speaking of YouTube, we just hit 400 YouTube subscribers.
We did.
It's a small number to you, but it's a big number to us. So
yeah, we're making progress. That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. New episode of Input for this week is out. They talked about Philip Mewson. So that's all you got to know, really, going into that one.
Move on.
If you want that one. I think they just went for an hour on that. Mike, your review of SteamWorld Quest is up. They can watch it. You can read it. You liked it quite a bit, it sounds like.
Yeah, I'll get more into it when we get to games, but it's pretty neat, and it sticks to what Image and Form have been doing, how they take a new genre of a game, essentially, and make something really cool.
Yeah. Jarrett posted a really great feature this week about Mortal Kombat 11's ethnic retconning, and how it's been kind of, with 11, it's gone back to make characters more accurate to the region that they're actually from, and the ethnicities that they actually are supposed to represent. And it's a really good read, and it's a really like kind of positive article from Jarrett, which you don't get a lot of, so fucking cherish them while we have them. And it's very smart, and it's very well written, like all of Jarrett's pieces are. So definitely go check it out. And then there's a PAX banner on the front page of the website. There's still stuff kind of trickling out from there, so you can click on that and see all the cool PAX stuff we're doing. But that's it for housekeeping. Let's.
No, it's not.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I posted. I lost a bet. We talked about this last week, so this is relevant. I lost a bet, and on Twitter, I made good on it. I hope it was up to your standard, Nabeshin.
You did fuck up a couple of times. So
I did. I am a fucking mess. Thanks, Nabeshin. I posted my top 50 games of all time list in payment for the Devil May Cry bet, which I forgot when I was tweeting out. I was going to say like what I originally lost. What did I originally lose? Because you're the only one that remembers.
Devil May Cry?
To where I had to play a Devil May Cry 4.
Oh, the bet in general?
Yeah.
It was that like I said like the HD collection for PS3 and for PS4 and Xbox One when they changed the menus to be widescreen, so it'll be 4:3. That's what I said they're going to do, and that's what they did.
Yeah, and I thought that they would be better, and here we are years later, decades later. So yeah, I was originally going to play Devil May Cry 4 before Devil May Cry 5 came out. Didn't do that. I was going to do a live action version of a cutscene from Devil May Cry of I think specifically 5. Didn't do that. And here I am posting my top 50 games of all time list with only a couple major fuck ups. Thank you for reminding me, Nabeshin. But no, it was really fun. A lot of people really liked it. A lot of people were inspired to do their own from it. Just keep in mind, don't forget who did it first. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, it was really cool. It took me like 3 hours, so but I prepared a little bit more than doing it on the fly, just because I didn't want to spend the whole time doing it, and I had a podcast to record. I'm sorry, Nabeshin. But yeah,
I mean, it was some top night stuff, man. So you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, it was still out of the heart for all the big stuff. So yeah, it was really fun. It was fun, kind of like refiguring out where things are, and kind of getting my feelings out there on some of the. I tried to write some kind of very personal perspective on each game, of like why this is here on my list, like Senua and Hellblade, and kind of like how that's like gives me inner strength and things like that. Tetris and the kind of message it left me with and whatnot. So yeah, it was cool. If you want to check it out, it's my pinned tweet on my Twitter profile. If you want to check out Nabeshin, who did his first, it's the pinned tweet on his Twitter profile as well. And I'm Alfunner.
Y'all know that was a joke, right?
Yeah,
I feel like people are actually like, I'm bitter about it. I'm not bitter about it.
I know that you're not, but like also like we gotta get your brand stronger, so I'm building you up.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm Alf127 on Twitter. Nabeshin is Nabeshin186 on Twitter. But yeah, no, I don't think anybody actually thinks you're bitter about it, except for me in my most insecure moments. Now we can talk about video games. Who wants to start? I guess Mike, you were here. You've got video games. I forgot to open the Google Doc before we started the podcast.
Yeah, I played some video games.
What you been playing, Mike?
Well, I guess I'll talk about SteamWorld Quest since we brought it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game's really cool. It's basically to give you like the basic elevator pitch. It's a turn-based RPG, kind of, but you're using like a hand of cards as like your different abilities for each of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
It's so in the embargo they gave me, and like this information is probably on the internet by now because the game's out now and everything. It is tied to the other games, and like some they refer to it as like the SteamWorld timeline,
the SteamWorld cinematic universe. Yeah,
the SteamWorld, the SCU. But I honestly, like, playing through the game, I didn't really catch on that.
Mm-hmm.
I only played SteamWorld Dig 1 and 2, so maybe in Heist it's more apparent. But yeah, it still has that like flavor though. Like, you know, all the characters are not like cowboys and everything. It's all like fantasy, medieval times, like knights and wizards and magic and everything. And like the characters look really cool. There's like really interesting designed characters. Like, you know, you kind of have your robot knight lady, and like there's like this other dude who's on your team. He looks like a weird like frog robot almost. He's kind of weird looking, but he's really cool. Like the game just has like a really cool like art design for the characters and like a kind of overall like storybook kind of presentation, because it's kind of going with that whole fantasy vibe. So like I like that. It was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
The combat specifically, I really ended up enjoying. Basically, yeah, you have three party members, and you can swap between. You get more party members as you play through the story. And basically, you're building like a deck of cards for each or a deck of cards for each character, and you can have about 8 cards on each character, and you're unlocking them as you play through. You're finding them in chests and crafting them and doing all kinds of stuff, and you can upgrade them to make them do more damage. But basically, once you go into battle, then those cards basically become like a hand you have. So you basically can choose 3 cards, and that's your attack turn, and then your enemies will play their cards. And basically, there's all kinds of manners in which you can play the cards. Like you can redraw them to make sure you have multiple cards from a single character. And if you play 3 cards that are just from one character, it'll unlock a 4th move that'll do like specific things. It's all tied to like what weapon they have equipped. It's like they'll either like do like a big damaging attack, or maybe they'll heal everyone on your team, or it's like stuff like that. It's really cool, like how you can like it's kind of like a higher like thinking of it, of like next level kind of stuff you're trying to think about when you're picking cards from your hand, of like, well, do I want to not use all 3 of these cards to do a lot of damage this turn, or do I want to hold on to some of these so I can heal up my party with another card? And it's a really cool like balancing act of just figuring out what you want to do turn to turn.
You get 3 cards per round, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can just use all 3 of them, right?
Yeah, so like you basically, it'll give you like a hand of more than 3, but you basically pick 3 from the just random amount of cards they give you. I forget the certain amount. It's like maybe like 6 or 7. Like you basically have like a hand in front of you that you see in like the battle like on the screen. You basically just pick 3 out of those cards.
Okay.
And then that's like your attack for that turn.
Okay. And you can use less than 3, I assume, to like kind of stack cards or save cards for later.
Yeah, so you can choose to just use 2, or there's also like items you get, and you can kind of use those instead of like using like a healing card or something like that on a turn. You can also redraw cards, so you can redraw up to 2 cards in a turn. So like if you have cards you're just not going to use that turn, you can just kind of redraw them and try and get something better in that turn.
Does each character have their own deck of cards, or do they share a whole deck?
Each character have up to 8 cards they can bring into battle, and like that's their deck. And then like the hand that's given to you at the start of each turn is just whatever. It's just like a random assortment cards from each of the characters' decks.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So like it's a cool like back and forth of like if you have the cards to like play 3 cards of particular characters to get that chain ability, or there's like certain cards that combo with other party members' cards. So basically, you'll see like on the cards themselves, they'll have like a little character's like face or icon, and if you basically use the character's face that is on the cards, like use one of their cards before that card. If that makes sense. Then like it basically like makes it a combo, and then that makes that whatever that card is like stronger, its ability stronger, so it could be like a more powerful attack or like a better healing or whatever. It just depends on the card. So yeah, it has a kind of like a layer on top of, just instead of just like you're kind of picking 3 cards, you can just do that, but there's kind of like that top layer of like, if I can make a combo with this particular card with another one, then I can get more damage, or maybe I can chain it. Maybe I can get a chain out of multiple cards from a character. So it's interesting.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm watching your review right now. I haven't played in the background. I like the character designs a lot too. I think it's like really different from some of the SteamWorld stuff they've done in the past. Like SteamWorld Heist, I think has generally like more of my favorite character design over the SteamWorld Dig games. But I think like the SteamWorld Dig games are people are a little bit shorter and hunched over. Heist is kind of like this, where they're like full height.
They're kind of more human
size
shape.
And they lean more into like the fact that it is a space game, and things are kind of coming from all over, and they really embrace kind of varied design between all the characters. It seems like there's a similar vibe, but with fantasy in SteamWorld Quest.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
It's definitely, it's more fantasy. You're fighting like robot wizards, and you fight like dragons and a lot of like fantasy stuff, and and it's pretty fun, and it's like a single player kind of story focused thing, and you're basically following this like band of like kind of misfit travelers, like the main knight that you play as a lady. Her name's Armilly, and she's kind of like this. She's trying to get into this legendary hero guild that's a part of that. So like she's kind of like roped in these 2 other characters in the start of the game. It's like there's like this mage little robot girl that she was like a college dropout, so she like hates like this like wizard school that's in the universe. And then like the frog robot dude's kind of like this like basement dwelling like loser. They kind of pitch him as, more or less. And basically they're kind of like a weird kind of band of misfit kind of heroes, so to speak. And like it starts with them just kind of trying to get into this guild of heroes, and it kind of goes from there. But it like becomes more, and they meet other characters and find out there's just kind of like bigger plot going on with like some bad stuff, and
sounds
they gotta go save the world.
Sounds Fire Emblem-esque almost.
Yeah, like it's definitely kind of a somewhat by the numbers kind of story, but I think it's not like not bad, but like it's definitely kind of predictable, where you kind of start seeing stuff where it's like, okay, there's something bad's about to happen, or maybe this character is not that great of a character all along.
It is the
stuff like that.
less interesting part of the game, it sounds like.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's definitely like I like some of the characters. Like there is like some fun humor in it, and like some okay like dialogue between back and forth, but like the overall story was just kind of like it was kind of whatever. Like it was not what was kind of keeping me going. It was kind of just like the combat and like exploring the world. Like the world's pretty like simplistic in like how you explore it, because it's kind of like I don't want to say Metroidvania, but it's basically you're moving like tile to tile, and like the game is set up in chapters. So basically, you have a chapter, you'll go in, and then you just have like an area you like it's like different like segmented like areas you're going into, and there's like hidden ones where you find chests and ones where you'll find enemies, and then it kind of has like a sort of Dark Soulsy thing where like if there's like save points that you can go to and fully heal yourselves, but if you fully heal yourselves, it respawns all the enemies in that area. So you just kind of refights if you need to like grind up and stuff.
That's cool. That's smart too. There's Tony.
Yeah, it's
Hey.
Hello?
Tony,
Hello.
Are you ready to start recording?
No. Hold on.
Okay. I just didn't want us to get too off the rails first. See, like, why does Discord do this thing where it like just makes a random person like larger in the center
on the screen
instead of doing
It's because they're the most important person, and we all know.
it is Nabeshin.
Yeah, that's good to say. Nabeshin is
Nabeshin is the most important person in my life right now. I just want you to know that.
MVP, most valuable player over here.
I'm ready to go.
All right,
And yet you keep hurting me, Tony.
on one, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I mean, it's kind of like a pattern for me with all Persona games at this point.
Yeah, you are just.
You have to date one original girl and then dump her to the fucking roads and date the best girl and then dump her to the fucking roadside and date the new girl that comes out with the extended version of the game, who is then best girl.
I'm interested in New Girl. All right, I just want to get to know her better. That's all.
I'm interested in New Girl and don't need to get to know her better.
damn.
Tony,
Getting to know her better is definitely a good idea, though. You know what I mean?
Tony Horvath is joining us. Hi, Tony.
So, man.
I'm glad to have you here. You've already brought your good vibe energy.
Yeah, man. And I got to play it at least one more time before Persona 5 R comes out so I can date my little sister because we're not related.
Exactly. I'm glad you're finally starting to come around. Mike, any other thoughts, feelings on SteamWorld Quest? Should people play SteamWorld Quest?
Yeah, I mean, right now it is just on Nintendo Switch. So if you got a Switch and want like a cool little RPG, then that's there for you.
Excellent.
It's like I think it's like $25, but the publisher for the game was kind enough to provide me with a code. So thank you for that.
Bless.
Hashtag
bless.
provided.
Hashtag ad.
But yeah, I think it's on. I think it's exclusive to Nintendo Switch right now. It'll probably come to other consoles later.
Yeah,
because I think that's just how the SteamWorld games have always been. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, SteamWorld Dig 2 certainly came to Switch first.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else you've been playing?
So I've trapped you all here because it's time for me to gush about Dragon's Dogma.
Another Dragon's Dogma believer has come to date us.
Ooh,
I am the.
you're meeting a non-believer.
Yeah, we got some non-believers here.
Too bad.
Yeah, I refunded that game.
You're talking to a madman who's bought this game 6 times.
Oh, shit.
Extra mad.
How is it on Switch though? To be real.
Well, it's totally playable and doable. But I had this moment. I won't lie. I have somewhat of an elitist moment of I started playing on Switch. And I was just like, this is totally fine, but I am getting a little framey in some spots. And then I went and just
played it on PC.
Started the PC version again. I was like, this is great. And then just continue to play it there.
Now you're converting Scott and Tony to your side.
I just really, really like that game. It just does like the right things for me. And it's definitely very weird and convoluted and like I would say like I don't necessarily want to get into the whole conversation of comparing it to like a Dark Souls, but like it does some weird things like that where it's doesn't necessarily tell you everything right off the gate. just because of how weird that game is structured, and like the weird meta shit that goes on in the end. I don't want to get into like spoilers for the game necessarily, but it just gets completely insane.
Yeah, I get you there. Knowing how that game goes, it's wild.
Yes, and I just really enjoyed it a lot, and like it's one of those weird, like it felt like a warm blanket almost, like coming back to it again. Just like I just started playing it again, and I'm the dumb I do the dumb tutorial again for like by like the 80 millionth time that I've done it. I'm still just like, all right, here we are again.
This big ass drag's about to eat my heart, I guess.
Yeah, here he is. Beautiful.
What would you want, Mike, out of a Dragon's Dogma 2? Like, what's the thing that you want to see like evolved upon in the next one the most?
Honestly, I would just want like a bigger world.
Okay.
A new bigger world. Obviously, like an easy thing to do would be like multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, like, I don't know if I'd necessarily go all the way and do like a 4-player thing, because I personally really like the pawn system in that game. Like, I think it starts off kind of weird and not great, but I think that's like the whole point of it in some ways. Of they are constantly learning and adapting and kind of learning the tricks of the game, basically, so that they can just kind of become fully self-sustainable on their own after a certain point. So I like that whole aspect to them. So I would still kind of want that.
And you don't want it to go full Lost Planet 3, right? Like there's a line, and you got to not cross that line.
Right. I'm blanking on the Lost Planet 3.
It's like that's the one where it's like always online multiplayer, and like they have the names over their head all the time.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, dude, it's a mess.
Because was that Lost Planet 2?
It might be 2 that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, 2 was the co-op one.
Yeah, 2 was like the one where they're basically like we wanted a sci-fi shooter Monster Hunter game.
Yeah. So I think like if they want to embrace multiplayer, that's great. I think that they just gotta kind of manage it.
Because the thing is the MMO that didn't come over here, they have it both ways, where you can play that with a party of like up to 4 people, or you can just actually have like a pawn party like you can in the first game.
That's good.
So I think a cool way to do it would be like have like a 2-player co-op. So you have 2 players, and then the pawns they make, and then are like your party of 4. Like I think that'd be super cool.
Yeah.
Way to do the multiplayer, or they can just do that MMO way. But yeah, like honestly, I'm playing it again now, and still enjoying it for what it is. Like, granted, I played it now countless times, so I just like know what to do. I just know now it's basically just like doing the motions more or less in some regards. But I still like the combat in the game. I think they definitely added a lot more in that MMO, like a lot more crazy classes, and like I think like just some of the like the late game classes in that game are like some of the coolest things I've seen in like kind of like RPG in some regards, of like how classes like work and just some of their abilities.
Yeah, the way they meld the classes together is really cool.
And like I'm just like, there's like some things in that game where I'm just like, why haven't like a lot of other games like done this? Like the idea of like having like ability, like being able to like have your shield like be like fire, like a fire shield, like you can like do all these different elemental abilities and attachments onto your weapons and stuff. Is like, I think that's like so cool.
Yeah,
just like a really cool way to like have it be like, it makes it feel like you're more working as a team, because then you just have this. I always have a pawn on my side that's some kind of mage that can put all his elemental attunements on all of our weapons, so that makes everyone fully capable. And I just think that's like super cool, instead of just having kind of like, well, there's the archer guy, so he's always going to be the one handling the one thing, where now it's like, well, now I have a person who can reflect magic and do all kinds of other stuff. And I just think the whole party system and how you can make it work to your will and stuff is just super cool in Dragon's Dogma.
Yeah. I've been like meaning to play that game for a long time. I think I own it like 3 different ways myself. Never finished it, but it's just it's always hard to justify playing that game that doesn't necessarily hook me right away.
Sure.
for something that is like just
Yeah.
came out and is relevant and whatnot.
No, totally. And like that game, I will say, like definitely doesn't have the kindest like ramp or entry point into the game where it kind of just you kind of have that opening bit where you get attacked by the dragon. It's like, well, Night of the Original, just do whatever, and then it kind of does lead you along a bit, but like there's a lot of other stuff that's like going on. Like you can like straight up miss like a whole bunch of quests, like in the opening city, and like a bunch of like some of them are just like dumb little side ones, but it's like stuff that's can be crucial when like in that early part when you're trying to get it like build up your equipment and weapons and all that other stuff.
Yeah. That's what I've been seeing thrown around is go back to that opening like beach city or whatever, beach town, get a bunch of side quests.
Yeah.
Seems smart.
It's absolutely one of those games where there's like notice boards in each of like the major kind of settlements or towns, and like a lot of them are very, very basic, like MMO tier fetch quests, but some of that stuff is actually like important to do in that game.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, I don't know. I like the game a lot.
Rad. You also have a game after my own heart on here, Mr. Yoshi's Crafted World.
Yeah, that's I just think that game is like super clever and obviously super cute and looks great.
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously it's not that hard of a game, but I think it kind of benefits from that in some regards. Of it kind of realizes what it is at this point, where there's been a bunch of Yoshi games, and like they've always kind of been to some regards about collecting stuff, and like that's where like the kind of the challenge comes in of like you can kind of just run through all the levels of that game and like beat it like probably like in like 2 or 3 playthroughs, like the main kind of story, but like all of it's about like finding all the secrets hidden in the levels. They have like a lot of like different ways to play through the levels, where you can play through all the levels normally straight, but then once you beat them the first time, that unlocks a version where you have to go find all the like baby poochies, and basically that makes it like a time attack kind of thing where you have to like find where they're hidden in the level that's now like flipped, and you're basically going through it like mirrored essentially. You have to like find them within like a certain time point to like get all the different like flowers and whatnot. So it's just super fun in that regard. Like it's I didn't expect myself in particular to like want to like do all that stuff once I beat it, but now that's like kind of all I want to do.
Yeah, I had a similar thing with Woolly World too, which I really love. It seems like after you finish it too, it kind of like left it felt like something that you would like defend come the end of the year as well, as something that it resonated more than you thought it would.
Yeah, because like even in those base levels, like I had some challenge with some things, but again, it came mostly with like trying to get the hidden collectibles. But there's just like a lot of the cool stuff that like modern like Mario and like even like just some Nintendo games in general, where it kind of takes like a cool idea or mechanic and makes like a full level around it. And you might only see it for that one level, but they're always like super fun and interesting. Like there's one in particular that's later in the level where you're like in like you're going through like a crafted space world, and like the level is basically like there are parts of like you're like jumping on like rocket ships that are made out of like wrapping paper tubes and stuff, but they're on like I'm forgetting the thing particular, but it's like a baby like thing you'd put in a baby cradle.
Is it baby
that like spins around?
I was gonna say Baby Bjorn, but it's absolutely not that.
But yeah, basically, because in this Yoshi game in particular, you can throw the egg in like not just up and down. You can throw it kind of like left to right and in the background and foreground and stuff.
Yeah.
So like basically, you can go on a part of it and throw the egg at different parts of it, and it'll like spin you around to different parts and stuff. And it was just like really neat. Another level which was kind of annoying, but it was like still a neat idea, was basically you're in this like space station with a bunch of little like toy robots, and there's basically like a meteor that'll crash into it every so often.
Jesus.
And like when the meteor crashes in, the robots like alarm goes off and the robots start panicking, and like they all have their jobs to like move certain platforms or like have like platforms like stuck in place. So like when that happens, they freak out and all the platforms like freak out. So you have to like time some of your stuff of like, all right, I have to wait here because I know a meteor is about to crash, and you have to like wait for them to freak out and then kind of reset and then kind of keep going through the level.
That's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah. And there's just like a whole bunch of stuff like that. There's like a one that's like basically like on a race course, and like you're standing on like a solar panel, and you're racing through this thing. You're like racing other cars, and you have to like run to different sides of the car to turn it to like dodge like shadows that are on the track, so you don't slow down because you're on a solar panel. And you're like using eggs to do like the similar thing, like knocking stuff out of the way while you're driving around. It's just there's just like a bunch of like one-off levels like that are constantly like, oh, this is really cute and a really neat idea, like using kind of the platforming of Yoshi, but also taking like real world like objects and like things that are like how they actually work in the real world and like apply them to this game.
That's really cool.
Platforming stuff.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of neat stuff like that. Another neat thing the game does, it's not necessarily tied to gameplay, but particularly like the bosses. Each of them kind of has like an opening cutscene, and in the cutscenes, it's just in these ones, and the game doesn't run like this, but like when they, when they have the bosses like appear or be like created, it turns into like a stop motion, so like the frame rate kind of like slows down and like drops down in a way that makes it look like it's like they're like stop motion being put together and stuff and like objects. It's like I think like some people would look at it and be like that looks like kind of bad, but I thought it was actually kind of neat.
That sounds really cool, actually. I think I'm into that kind of stuff though. That kind of animation. Yeah. I'm probably gonna have to play this game. I realize I recognize I
think it's worth checking out. I was definitely like just thinking like, yeah, this will be okay. I'm not expecting too much from it. Like it'll just kind of be like a fun jump in on the weekend and mess around and then be done with it. But I'm like still playing it and like trying to get to like there's once you beat the main game, there's like a couple hidden levels to go and find, and I found one of them, and that's definitely like a very challenging level.
Yeah.
I was like impressed of like, wow, this is actually like difficult. There's even more so difficult when you're trying to get all the collectibles in it at the same time.
There was this like, but one of the bonus levels in Woolly World that I remember having the most trouble with was like a temple where you have to go into these 5 different rooms in the temple to get 5 different keys, and it's kind of like a more exploratory level. And there are 2 checkpoints in it that you can kind of access any time, but it's like, okay, I want to use this checkpoint at the right time, either to get health back or to checkpoint myself so I don't have to redo all these challenge rooms. It's really cool. They did some similarly very, very rad stuff with level design toward the end of that game.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of cool level design stuff. Like I can just sit here and think of like a whole bunch of more levels of. There's like a level where there's Mousers, and they're stealing magnets that you have to use to throw. Basically, there's a bunch of doors that are like weighted doors and they're being weighted down by like soda cans, and you have to steal the magnets from the Mousers, and then eat up the magnets and then shoot them onto the cans to like weigh them down and open up and close doors and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And
you can also like shoot them onto like things to then make it a platform so you can then jump on it and get to different spots and find things.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Shout out to bringing back Mousers.
Yeah, there's a really good use of them. This is cool.
Did you play anything else this week, Mike?
Not much else.
All right.
Nothing of interest.
I played some video games real quick. I didn't play that much, so just knock it out real quick. Still playing Sekiro. It's kind of like all I really want to feel the inkling to play in downtime at the moment, which is impressive. Not a lot of games I will play for over a month, but we were over a month with Sekiro now. I like it a lot. I started a 3rd playthrough, just like a regular new playthrough to get some of the other endings. To maybe possibly get the platinum trophy in that game. We'll see. But I still really like that game. It's cool seeing going through like a fresh start instead of a new game plus start, the things that are really easy for me and the things that are really hard for me. and just the ways that I can still tighten up how I play that game and whatnot. And then I started the next book club game for video game book club. I know you did too, Mike. BioShock 2.
Damn.
We talked about the beginning third of that game on the most recent episode of book club, which if you missed it live, it will be up next Friday, or this coming Friday, I should say. BioShock 2 seems all right. The opening is like pretty uninteresting.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer, but I'm excited to see the kind of late game parts of that game. Again,
me too. I remember liking that game, but yeah, that opening was just like, man, it's just not feeling this.
It's just like there's really nothing too special about it aside from Rapture, or aside from things that were already special about BioShock 1. But I'm excited to play more of it. I also played a little bit of Final Fantasy 7.
Are you guys going to play the DLC BioShock?
For BioShock, yeah. So we're doing, for the BioShock 2 book club, we're doing 3 episodes for BioShock 2. And then we're going to do a 4th bonus episode that's Minerva's Den.
Okay.
Which I'm pretty excited. I've never played it, so yeah. Yeah, I think if you got the free remaster upgrade on PC, you might have it.
Yeah, maybe that came with it. Okay, I have to double check.
If not, I'm sure it's not that expensive. But yeah, I'm excited to see Minerva's Den because I've never played it before. I've heard very good things. I've also I feel like I've had it completely spoiled for me, but I don't remember at all what it's about. I think it's got robots.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Maybe robots in it, an AI. I don't know. But yeah, that's really it for me. I played a couple like little things here and there. Like I played a little bit more of the Secret of Mana remake on PS3, like as like a thing I started playing maybe like 6 months ago, and I kind of play it in spare time. Sometimes play more Spelunky.
On PS3.
On PS4. I meant,
okay.
Not PS3. I played a bunch of other. I played like a few hours of Tetris Effect after writing my top 50 list. Or that was before writing it, when I was thinking about where it should be, and I sat down, I'm like, let me play this again. I was like, fuck, this game's still so good. All right, I will put this high on the list. And I think I put it in a good spot. Yeah, man, Nabeshin, you really did fuck me up, because now I'm like, man, I could just like play this game that I played 30 years ago again. Like, I could just play Persona 4 Golden again. Why not? It's so good.
Are you 30 years old?
I don't know what game I was thinking of. That was more of a hypothetical stand-in. But now it's like I wrote the thing about Cracking Time. I'm like, man, I really want to play like Ratchet and Clank again. I kind of wanted to play Jak and Daxter 1 again, writing that list, which is another like just stupid weird pull. I played the very beginning of Portal 2. I didn't play that far into it though, so I didn't necessarily want to talk about it.
Where'd you stop it?
I'm like still in the opening test chambers. Man, I totally forgot about how that game started also. Totally forgot. Like the whole room, and like the little like mini tutorial scene where you wake up for the first time and you have to look at the painting. I forgot about the whole first announcer guy that's like the stand-in AI for GLaDOS if she's not available. Yeah, it's
forgot how you responded to Wheatley.
Yeah, I totally know. That was such a good bit, and it's like, man, they do it twice, and it's like just enough. Yeah, man, the opening of that game is weird and wacky and strong. It also like the thing I notice is like it's older. Like I think of that era, mid-time era PS3, Xbox 360 games, like try to settle you into the routine as quickly as possible, because BioShock 2 does this exact thing as well. Where it's like, all right, we got you all your stuff, now you're just doing these things, and like you're doing the thing that you're going to be doing for the most of the game. Like time to gun was the thing that we talked about during the BioShock 2 conversation.
Time to gun.
TTG. And there's a good it is like equally as long TTG in Portal 2, I would say. It's a while before you get the blue portal gun. Yeah, it's cool. Portal 2 is cool. But yeah, I didn't play much. Tony, video games. Videojuegos. What have you been playing, Tony?
So we've continued to play the League of Legends.
Yeah, League of Legends is your favorite video game of all time, I believe.
Nope, not that. but it's a video game.
It seems like it.
I have reaffirmed my devotion to Aurelian Soul, so we're in a good spot.
Was it ever in doubt?
No, but when I first we started playing again, I was playing a lot of other shit.
Bit.
No, it was never in doubt, dude.
He was playing some other shit. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, I was seeing some other girls. Aurelian was over. You know that
you were taking a break
meme where it's like that dude walking with his girl and he's looking at the other girl and she's like, "What the?" That's like me and the girl who's looking at me like, "What the fuck is Aurelian Soul?" And then the other one is like Morgana.
Yeah,
you know. And I was doing that, and then I just said fuck it, and now I'm only playing Aurelian Soul again.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Space Tentacle was also in there somewhere.
Vel'Koz.
Oh,
yeah, I mean, you just come on, dude. He's got tentacles.
These
like
League of
every
Legends
girl's dream.
Characters sound very sexual.
Yeah, they are.
I don't know how I feel about this. Okay, well, you're back with Aurelian Soul. You're back with your boy. We've talked enough about League of Legends. I think we've hit the quota.
Yeah. We only need like 2 minutes of League talk every. Other than that, Black Desert Online, we started warring again because they made changes to the mercenary system. Where that on a tier 2 node, which is where we have to go now, a guild can only have a maximum of 3 war heroes instead of unlimited, where guilds would just recruit like 25 war heroes, which is the entire amount of people you can bring to a war, and they're all like siege players, and so the war isn't fun, you just get smashed. Each guild can only have 3, and so since a couple of the people who are in our guild moved on because no one wanted to play when it wasn't fun, we entered into an official alliance with the guild that we were working closely together with before. So now we technically count as one guild and go to all nodes together. But the other guild is the leader of the alliance, so we don't got to do shit. We just show up. They build the fort. They do the defense. They rebuild buildings and all that shit. We just show up and fight.
Is this like an uneasy alliance situation?
No, it's fine.
It's easy.
Yeah, like we like each other.
Chill.
Yeah, super chill.
All right, but like when you roll up to like the drinking corner wherever things happen in Black Desert Online,
the place where it happens,
the room where it's happening. Are you like, check out these fucking scrubs from this other guild?
Well, I don't know. Like during the war, we still kind of like our guild just does shit on its own. Like we're in TeamSpeak in a different channel, and like their shot callers can like speak globally to the entire server, so they'll like call to every channel. But like a lot of our shot callers just like, yeah, fucking ignore that idiot, and we just do our own shit.
Jeez, do you ever like jump into their Discord channel and like play toilet flushing sound effects, and then and then TP their beta house?
No, because like their guild will like sit in the base and defend or do whatever, and then our guild, who usually is a little bit more than half of the people, we just go and kill people. Like we had a really fucking great war yesterday. There was the node that we went to, 7 guilds built towers there. So it was a huge fight. It's us versus 6 other guilds. And we had 1 guild out of the other 6 that wanted to ally with us to kill the other guilds first, and then we'd 1v1 for the node later. They were built like right next to us. And as soon as the war started, their entire fucking guild was in our base and started attacking us. So we immediately got backstabbed. By the end, so we got like talked to the other guilds, and every other guild allied against this one guild because none of them liked them. We were the only guild that would ally with them in the first place, and so in like the first 40 minutes of the war, we just wiped them off the map.
See, this is a courtroom drama I come to you for, Tony.
Yeah, it was really good. It was hilarious because the way that our guild name changes when war starts from Rehab to Relapse, which Relapse is the alliance name, so we assumed that they didn't know. Like they're just like, oh, that's a different guild that's not Rehab. Let's attack them. But no, they knew. Like they were just trying to backstab us and like get us out quick.
Fuckers.
So anyway, we killed them, and then the wars. Like I don't know if we've ever said this before, but the nodes only last a maximum of 2 hours. And so then we had to go around and kill the other like 4 guilds. We like had a close alliance with one of the other guilds. That was like the first one to help us out. So we're like, fuck it, like we'll see what happens at the end for the rest of this and figure out who gets the node from that. And so we just went around they're not as strong, but we just went around and methodically like deleted every other guild. And it took a while, but we actually killed the last guild other than our ally with like 3 minutes left. It's fucking crazy. It's like this push kills their tower or it doesn't, and we ended up getting them down. So we're just like, hey, allies, go axe our base down real quick. You can have it this week. Then you have to come back to this same node next week and give it to us, basically. So we guaranteed ourselves an ally for next week, which when we're already coming with a stronger guild. So next week we'll pretty much guaranteed get the node, no problem.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's some cool shit that goes on with the node war politics. That was a really good time.
I love the drama. You know I do.
Yeah, same. And it's like the funny part is like no one gives a shit, you know? And like as soon as the war ends, it's just like, yeah, whatever. Like the next time we see them on a node, we probably won't trust them, right? But at the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
We just had a good time.
That's what you have podcasts for, man. Just get the drama out. Yeah. That's what the kids care about.
They'll tell you about it.
Anything else you've been playing?
Let's see. Yeah, I've been playing MTG Arena a lot this week, actually, because the new set came out for Magic.
Okay, cool.
Technically, the pre-releases, like for the paper version of the set, are happening right now. Midnight last night, and then this weekend are all the pre-releases.
Jared Green and Scott White are both very into MTG Arena as well. Just a heads up.
They should fucking tell me about it. Man.
I told them, I was like, you guys should play with Tony. He loves that. And they're like, yeah, that sounds like fun. And then that's where the conversation is. Yeah, I'm working on it.
Fuck this.
Tony, it's time to mail them the dough.
But anyway, yeah, so the new set came out, which is this insane set that has a bunch of weird-ass planeswalkers and stuff. And it's the third set in the block, so it kind of takes all of the themes set forth by the first two sets in the block and expands on it and completes all of them, basically.
Ooh, cool.
It acts as a supplementary set to all the other sets. And this one in particular, the first two sets are talking about like this world that has 10 guilds that are all color pairs that fight against each other. They're like fighting and, you know, their politics or whatever. This third set kind of brings it to the whole like storyline to a head where all of the head planeswalkers of Magic lore have bonded together in this thing called the Guild Pact to take out this insanely powerful, mad with power elder dragon called Nico Bolas. Who is trying to yeah. So he's this really massively powerful dragon planeswalker guy.
You see the protagonist from GTA 4?
I wish.
It's me, Nico Bolas.
Yeah, he's trying to steal the planeswalker sparks and use them as bowling balls when he goes bowling with his cousin Niv Mizzet.
I was going to ask who his cousin was. He was calling him
Niv Mizzet, of course.
Niv Mizzet. That old Niv Mizzet.
So yeah, basically it's all like 36 planeswalkers from Magic lore. Like all of the planeswalkers have showed up to this plane, Ravnica, to try and kill Nico Bolas. And so it's called War of the Spark, and they're trying to, basically it's the story of them fucking taking down this dragon god.
Nabeshin, can you write down Nico Bolas in the titles? Because I think it's so funny. Every time I hear it, I want to laugh so bad.
Nico Bolas goes bowling.
Anyway, so yeah, a bunch of cool cards came out. The set actually had 36 planeswalkers in it. They made a card version of every planeswalker in the game that came to fight against Nico Bolas, which is insane. Usually in a set there's like 2 to 4. And they only get printed at Mythic. And this one, they're printed at every rarity, uncommon, and you get in paper. You are guaranteed one planeswalker in every pack. And planeswalkers have historically been like the fan favorite card type because they're like it's like playing. They're all based on one character instead of like an event or like a creature or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they've got some pretty lit abilities. So yeah, there's a lot of cool shit that came out in the set, and the cool thing about MTGA is that the barrier to entry of acquiring the cards and what you like, the way that the wild card system works, it's easier to kind of get what you want for without having to buy a billion packs. So I've been able to put together a couple like new things to play around with, and had a really good time just fucking around with the new cards and shit. Like it's the release days of new sets for Magic have always been a really good time. It's because you're just playing against random shit as opposed to the day before where you're playing against the same 4 like figured out decks that are the best ones. So a new set coming out to kind of shake it all up has been really cool.
That's very cool. Yeah, it sounds right. Yeah. Is this what the gathering is of the planeswalkers to kill this dragon?
I mean, it's certainly a gathering.
The Gathering.
I don't actually know off the top of my head what like the Gathering in Magic the Gathering refers to. I think it may just like be the gathering of planeswalkers, because technically you as a player are a planeswalker, and you are casting, creature spells and other magic spells against the other planeswalker to try and beat them, right? So I think the gathering is a gathering of planeswalkers to cast these spells and everything. And playing a planeswalker is like playing another player that has his own abilities that he can do every turn.
That's cool. Yeah,
it's pretty neat. There's some cool shit there. A bunch of cool nerd shit.
Are you still playing the one game, the Diablo-like?
Path of Exile?
Path of Exile.
No, I got bored. Problem with it was that when, I like Diablo 3 because I play with people.
Yeah.
And we like do all these progression things as groups of 4, and go through all the shit. Path of Exile is very much a single player game. It has multiplayer, like you can technically go into things with people, but the problem is the loot is not player specific like it is in Diablo 3.
Yeah.
So if you can solo content, it is always better to solo it, because you'll get, you're guaranteed to get all the drops, instead of like, if something really rare drops and it happens to drop for the other player, it's just a really big feels bad moment of like, well, shit, something dropped during this cool thing that one of my cool maps, and the other fucking chuckle fuck who came with me on my map is going to get it instead of me, and I already paid a lot of money to get this map in the first place, so it's just annoying.
Yeah, I guess.
That plus, like, there is no group content really. Like, there's nothing that you are encouraged to play with or rewarded to play with other players to do. So I don't know. It's fun to mess around with, but I really got bored really quick just because I kind of exhausted the game of content, and it's turned into one really big meaningless grind. I'd already kind of gotten to a power threshold with the build that I was going for. And it was just like, all right, need more money to get these expensive things that make me marginally better. And I don't know, it just got kind of boring. So that's kind of where I got with it. I just kind of stopped playing.
I gotcha. I was just curious where you ended up with it. Cool. Anything else you're playing, Tony?
I think that's it as far as games go. Yeah, that's kind of all I had time for. I'm still working a ton. So.
Gotcha. No worries.
Yeah.
Nabeshin. Video games. What you been playing?
Various stuff.
Little,
not too much.
Little teensy bits of things that I'm curious about. Yeah.
I beat Mortal Kombat 11's story mode.
Excellent. What'd you think?
It was really good. It was really good. Like it gets really hype at the end of the game of that story mode, and I really enjoyed it. And I felt it was like very satisfying, like completely through. Like if you're playing a game just for the story mode, I think it's like it's a really great game for that. And obviously the fighting system is like really good. The fatalities are amazing, like the best the series has ever been. I do feel like the way that game ends, though super cool, is at the same time as like I don't know how you make another one after this type of thing. So like they went to complete the story, which is good. But it's also like, man, where are they gonna go from here? Like if they make a Mortal Kombat 12, it's like it'll just be like just crazy. Where do you go from next? Because it's like it kind of just leaves everything. Like it pretty much leaves everything as far as what you know. But it's nice that they wrapped up that story that they kind of started at from 9 when they rebooted it, and like going to from 10 to like doing to 11 now. Just seeing the conclusion more or less for the series as it is at this point. So. And it made it very satisfying. So I enjoyed that game very much. So
it's cool, and they got time to think about it. I assume there's probably gonna be another game between this and Mortal Kombat 12, and also a generational change for consoles. So
yeah,
things will change. They'll have time to figure it out. And if they do decide to go like full reboot or really change things completely from the like rehaul it from the ground up, like whole new cast of characters, maybe in a different realm or same universe, different realm. I don't know. They got time. That's cool though. I heard it was like I think Jeff Grossman tweeted out that it was kind of like the close to the trilogy that they started with MK9, and I think that's really cool.
It totally is.
Rad. Is like the greater package also good, or have you not really dabbled with anything but the story?
I haven't really gotten too far as like anything else. Mostly because it's really icky as far as that stuff, as far as like what I know. Especially people who like are more invested in that game than I am. Like I pretty much just like looked at the crypt for what they had and stuff, and just ran around a little bit. I was like, oh, this is all right. But like I'm just kind of waiting till they actually like fix it before I actually like get into it, because like we're in a modern age of video games, so like the crypt that you knew in Mortal Kombat 9 is like not the same crypt it is for today, because you have to have microtransactions and other bits of stuff that well they don't really have microtransactions in the crypt or anything like that. It's just like the progression in the game is like kind of sways you to want to use microtransaction type of thing. So it's just one of those things where it's just like I'll wait till the few months later where like when because like video games now is at the point where unfortunately where it's like you'll have to wait 6 months after a game releases before it's actually the game that it actually needs to be, as far as like like when the game first comes out. I'm not trying to be too cynical or like disparage anybody playing games or anything like that, but it's just more of like it's like more of an understanding where I'm at right now, where it's like if it's a game that like that thrives on its online content, it just seems like something that like if you wait a few months, don't really engage with it. Kind of why I don't play multiplayer in general. It's like it can like iron itself out to where people want it to be. It's like it'll be like the most egregious where it is when it releases. They hear the feedback, and then like they'll adjust it. And then when it's fully adjusted, then it's like the game that everybody wants. You just have to wait until you get the game that you want. So
yeah, they straight up took the loot boxes out of Shadow of War.
Yeah.
So maybe there's room for them to gut that stuff completely. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the landscape of
games like this.
Oh, well, not really games like this. More of like big budgeted AAA games.
Yeah, big budget AAA games with like progression and online too, I think.
Yeah, they have to have something to keep people coming back or stay invested continually, and that's like just a problem now because they have to pretty much all games have to compete with everyone's time.
Yeah, everyone's got to compete with Fortnite.
Yeah, and games like that, and like just games that all have like a much longer tail.
Yeah.
Now,
at least like if the story there is satisfying, like I know that's like a hokey as shit thing to say and totally fake fan over here, but that's enough for me, How long did the story take you?
Maybe like 7-8 hours, maybe not even that. It felt fulfilling. I didn't really like pay attention to like how much I played of it, but I played a lot.
Long enough. It sounds like.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it immensely. I can't wait to try out the new characters. Because I did buy the premium one just because I like fighting games. I like the characters. I like playing fighting games. So like when those come out, I'll be excited for that too.
Yeah, I'm sure there's one Jared Green you can hit up if you ever want to dip that toe into online. So
yeah, Jared and Blessings are all up in that game. So
cool.
If I ever want to, I know I can hit them up.
Cool. What else have you been
playing? Still on the track of like just playing old games that like I haven't played in like forever, or at least fully in forever. Like I mentioned Ratchet & Clank, I'm still just like still doing a little bit of that. Crack of Time, I mean, and I started up for my RPG again.
Nice.
Which I haven't played in a good while. Like it's a game I rebuy constantly whenever it's like a new format for me to buy it on, but like I haven't beaten it in like in years. So like,
you playing on the SNES Classic?
No, I'm actually playing on my Wii U. so I could play like portably, quote unquote.
Not dead. You know the game. It's funny you mentioned that too. The game that I really wanted to bring up of the thing when I did my top 50 list of like I have to fucking play this right now is Super Mario 3D World. It's killing me every second I'm away from that game.
So good.
That game is incredible, and it was really like my come to Jesus moment when I was writing that list of like this is my favorite Mario game, like full stop, hands down, above Mario 3.
It's definitely underrated.
Yeah, I just there's something with that game that really connected to me in a similar way to like Woolly World did. And now I will go to sleep every night praying for it to come to Switch. So I respect Nabeshin. I get it. What are you playing? So you're playing Paper Mario, or not Paper Mario, Jesus, Mario RPG on your Wii U. Is there anything else that you've dusted off on the Wii U shelf, or is that just it for now?
On the Wii U shelf, or
on the Wii U shelf?
Oh no. Yeah, my game, what's that thing called?
Your gamepad.
Is it called gamepad?
The Wii U gamepad, right?
Yeah. Yes, you're right. You're totally right.
It didn't sound right to me at first either, so I'm with you.
Yeah, yeah. I cleaned the dust off that and actually like got into it. Like I would play Wonderful 101, but like my friend has that. I keep going to his house like every week too. I just keep forgetting to get it from him. But like yeah, like I've been enjoying that game again. And like just talk about it a little bit. Like let's like as I relooking it through fresh eyes after like not playing it like in so many years. Like I just remembering like this was like the first game I really got to like, I guess you could say reading in video games. Because like obviously it was my first RPG. And like just like me being interested in side characters. This talking to everybody in the town. Like I've never, that was like the first time I've ever really done that, just to see what they had to say and stuff like that. Like when you go to the Mushroom Kingdom and you used to see like the little kids just like run around in circles, just like showing how excited they are, or the kid is jumping on the bed and you just like talk to him for a second and like he's like, I want to jump high like Mario. Can I do that? He's like, and you say yeah. You can say yes or no to them, but you say yeah. And like when you say yeah, he just like jumps up even like faster and stuff like that. It's just like cool, like little gimmicky stuff like that. And like and obviously that game is like super funny, like because like Mario does talk in that game. So like when everyone responds to him, he just jumps. Like obviously, like kind of like
it's very good,
kind of like Shell. So yeah, that game's still like super great. I want to build up my party again because like I remember beating that game with Peach and Bowser, and like I won my party again. So like, but that's like near the end of the game to get my my full party. So like yeah, I'm just excited to play through that again because I don't really remember that much. Like every time I replay that game, I probably get to probably like the star that there's like a star island or something like that where it's like there's a bunch of stars everywhere. Not the legendary stars, but like there's like it's like a blue world where just like color stars.
I know what you're talking about. That's when I was replaying it when I got the SNES Classic. That's where I got to. It's like Star Hill, I think is what it's called.
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah, that's usually the place where I usually stop. I don't know why, but every time you play, I usually stop around there.
It's like after you get Gino and stuff, so it's kind of like a good halfway point. I get it.
That's right. That's Gino's world. His home is there. That's right. That's totally right. Yeah. But yeah, that game gets so much better later on. Like probably the highlight for that game for me is like I can't remember the boss's name, but like he's some weird, gross looking guy with like a big beard or whatever.
Yep. The tower. Yeah.
Yeah, then you like he bite a cake and stuff like that. Then you chase after him, like he's throwing barrels at you, and like that was always fun to me. Like that's like probably my favorite part of the game, if I remember right.
Booster,
yes. Thank you, Scott. Yep. Oh my god, what a pull! What a pull! Yeah, fuck that. All of like the different areas and all the way each of like the big bads in that game like are subverted in some way to like surprise you is so cool. Like Bowser not being the big bad of that game and it being like this big sword is like such like it's exactly like the kind of comical humor that they literally made in that game and other developers have continued on in all the other Mario RPG games. It's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a rad game. I'm glad you're playing it again. I wish I replayed it on the SNES Classic, but I lost my save file. I have to go back and play through it again because I haven't finished that game since I was like way young, and I wasn't even playing then. It was my older brother playing it. It was me watching. So
Yeah, because it's one you said you never really like fully got.
I
into
never
it.
fully finished it just on my own. I just watched my brother play through the second half of it, and I only ever kind of really played the first half of it. So I want to finish it someday. What else you got, Nabeshin?
Probably the like the only other thing I really played, like I just started like maybe like the first hour of Days Gone.
How you feeling about Days Gone?
Like that intro is like one of like it's like one of like the most unengaging things I've ever played. It's so weird. It's so weird, like because I heard it gets better. Like I just talked to Andrew about this, and like he said, "Oh yeah, it gets better." Like because I was asking, like, was that intro like rough for you too? He's like, "Oh yeah, dude, like it's totally rough." And I think even Gerard, the completionist, said like the first couple of hours are just not engaging whatsoever because it's so weird and like it's not much of a spoiler, so like I'll talk about like the experience with it, but like because it's something, Alex, that like I would want you to play, but I wouldn't want you to buy the game. But like if I could like just give you the game, it's like I was like want you to like, just like play the first 2 hours, like, see if I'm crazy, just to see like it's so weird how like because like they start you off with like just it's like 2 years before anything happened. Like you're on a roof of a building, and like his wife is stabbed. Like you see that, and then like there's a helicopter that's there, and like you put your wife on a helicopter and stuff like that, and then like it just flies off, and then like it goes like to 2 years later, and then it's like just like the intro of the game, like showing tutorial stuff and like how you play the game, but it's like there's no real introduction to anything. There's no introduction to the freakers, or no introduction to these characters, really. Like they say his name is Deacon, but like you can't catch on to that. So it's like there's no like real introduction of who this person is that you're playing as. And like sure it plays fine and it looks really good, but like it's just so weird how like because like if you think about like the story with Days Gone, as far as like the press side of the story, I should say, or like the public reception of the story of Days Gone, ever since they released the game, like people didn't have something to like that latch onto to see like what's like special about the game per se.
Yeah, what's the hook?
Yeah, and like it felt like something that like they would take to heart, and like because like the thing about video games is like for a lot of people too, it's like is the intro of the game. Like the intro of the game is like almost as important as the end of the game, because it's like it's the thing that's supposed to hook you and like get you into the game in general. Like that's why sometimes like in some games like something like Final Fantasy 15 for instance, like it shows you like near the end of the game to like oh wow, this is so cool, I can't wait to get to that point in the game, or something like that, or something like The Last of Us that shows you something that's really gripping and engaging at the beginning of the game,
sets the tone.
Let you know, get you a mindset of where the world is going to, and like how these characters might even think, or something like that, or like how important something is to some characters or something like that. And like this game has like none of that, or like I said, like this intro is like if I didn't, because obviously like I'm not necessarily interested in the game, but like I'm interested in the game as far as like just talking about knowing what it is, and like I bought the game because like like it's a big game, and like sure, why not? I'm financially like stable enough to like buy something just because I'm curious about it, and like even if the game's not all that great, like it's like a perspective thing. Like sometimes I would want to buy like a quote unquote bad game just to like have an expectation of what's really good and what's really bad out there, or something like that. Something like that.
Yeah.
But it's just weird. It's because it's like it's if it's something like I have my issues with like something like Horizon Zero Dawn, but like it's something I could tell that it's a really made game that's like that wasn't for me, but like for me personally, it just didn't feel just like engaging, as far as like there's something that was off about the game that felt like too cookie cutter for me, and like when I played Days Gone for the intro, at least it's just like it's like that times like 10 or something like that. It's like it's so like what am I even doing? Who are these people? What is this game? And I know it's just the intro. I know I need to give it more of a chance, but like it's almost deliberately like not giving me anything. And I just think that's like that's a not terrible, but it's shocking to me that they didn't like take something that's like we need to like blow the seats out people to like make you know that this is Days Gone and this is the game that you're gonna play.
Does it feel like maybe they're foreshadowing something that might be coming in the future, or if they're setting up some kind of big plot point, or does it really just feel like kind of abrupt and unprompted?
It's really abrupt, dude. Like oh, like God, I just want you just to play. Maybe you just need to like see like the intro.
I might look up the intro. I might Redbox it. I know George Cruz Redbox it, and he's just to get some thoughts. Logan Wilkinson's very excited to play. He's been avoiding reviews. He's like, he plans on reviewing it and playing it. He's excited to play it. So I'm really curious on what his take is going to be. So I feel like he would see the positive in it, but I think it's telling for that game of like, even if he can't get over some of the problems it sounds like it has, like that you really just can't get over them.
Yeah, I haven't really ran into like many technical issues yet per se. Like the like another thing that like not really bugs me, but it just kind of annoys me with the game is like this is the way they do cutscenes. It's like a sudden like because it's like I don't know why it's so much more noticeable in this game than it is like in other games, because I'm pretty sure other games do this too. I just don't know why like this one is like really getting to me. It's like there's a clear like separation between like when you're like in game and like out of game. And like maybe I'm just too used to Naughty Dog games. It just reminds me of too much Last of Us or Uncharted or something like that. Because like there's no seamlessness as far as like going into like a cutscene or not. Because like it just turns like straight to black for like maybe like a second or two, and then it goes like right into the cutscene or right back into gameplay. And it like it's like a little just not really immersion breaking, but like it's just something that's really noticeable. And I don't know like if I'm just like beating this game down just because of I never really had too much expectation for it, but like I wanted it to like I was trying to be optimistic about it because that's why I bought the game, just because like I just want to see my opinions on it and what I think about it, and like yeah, it's just not really gripping me.
Yeah.
I will say though, like I was expecting like some frame rate issues or something like that with the game. Like I think they patched it out before like I actually got the chance to play it. So like it's running buttery smooth for me now. I am running on a pro, so I should mention. So like that's probably why it's like more stable for me.
Yeah.
But like because like I was mentioning you like the Easy Allies review of that game, where it's like where Joe's like a minute or two just talking about like his issues with the game, that the issues he experienced with the game, not like really had issues with the game. He actually liked the game, but like this like NPCs and stuff like that like stuff scripting in like you said he was having
the game like hitching up for seconds at a time, right?
Yeah.
It sounds fascinating. Like Days Gone seems so odd. It seems like such an odd move, you know.
It kind of sounds like it's kind of like almost like a relic of the past, like in some ways.
A Last Guardian-esque, maybe.
Yeah, like it seems like it's an old game, just like a lot from what Nabeshin just said, and like from what I've just heard, generally speaking online, it seems like maybe something that they worked on for like years ago and then like maybe stopped for whatever reason and then came back to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's like obviously they were passionate about the project and they want to see it through to release.
Yeah.
So, and obviously Ben has a huge history too. So it's just I don't know if Sony Bend specifically has like a knocked out of the park game in their catalog, and I don't know if they had it in them to make Days Gone that game, but I don't know, maybe they learned a lot through making this game. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
It is definitely one of those type of games that like you should play for yourself to know what you get out of it more than like what you can take from reviews, I feel.
Okay.
Because it seems like it's something like I said, like a lot of people that I know are like saying like the game is actually really decent and good. It's just a matter of just like getting past the first couple of hours, and like that's like
too much to ask for some people, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So like especially like when there's like so many good stuff out. That's why, and that's the thing about that intro is like that's really like getting to me is like, especially in like this day and age now where almost every game is like trying to like grasp for your attention. You have to like, I think you have to like kick the door down with an intro as far as like gripping somebody into your game, and like I feel this game kind of dispels on that like in a big way, unfortunately.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I'm curious, especially like hearing you want me to play it. I'm curious what I would think of it. So I still have watched like no videos, no next to nothing on Days Gone, just because I've been completely uninterested. So I would be curious, like with pretty much no expectation going into it and seeing what it's like.
It's weird too. It's something that I was never really like looking to either. It's like it's almost like a game where it's like not necessarily it was thrown in my face or something like that because like because I live an ad free life, so like it's not something I was thrown in my face, but it's something that I've been hearing about like constantly, and it's like something that I've known about forever, but like in a way that's like it's something that's always sandwiched between something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Man, Days Gone. I hope Sonny Ben is okay after this. That's my hope.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, I think so. It's like their first big game in a while. I feel like they've got a little bit of benefit of the doubt. How would you guys feel about taking a quick break? And then when we come back, we can maybe talk about Scott's games and news in gaming. How's that sound?
Okay.
Well, I mean, I don't really have much to talk about in games, so
we just talk about news.
Yep.
Okay.
By not much, I'm pretty sure I covered Risk of Rain last week.
Yeah.
The 20 run. Yeah. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, other than the small bit of league we did with Tony, that's it.
Cool. Tony cheating on Aurelian Soul. That's all I needed to hear. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about some Persona 5 news, maybe some NPD news. I did not ask for any questions this week because I forgot. So we will not be taking any questions, but then we'll make some bets and throw it out. So we will be back in just a little bit. call it sane.
We're inside.
We're inside. We're in the end game now. News in gaming. Let's talk about some news. Real quick news. I just want to knock it out at the top here. Mario Maker 2 got a release date. June 28th. Not a lot of details past that, but there's a email Nintendo sent out a press release. Just the
if you want some hot Mario Maker tips or little like kind of things, go to Game Explain.
They got some
they do the thing where they like dissect every second of every trailer or any kind of thing Nintendo puts out. So the guy Andre, he's I would think really into Mario Maker, so he just like dissected those even that like what was that like a 90-second, not even 90-second like little release date reveal trailer, and got like a million things where it's just like well it's technically the 3D world skin, but the thwomps are reacting like how they're supposed to, and like every other Mario game. And he's like pointing out like all those like super minute details like in the trailer, and it's just like, man, these guys are
a bunch of nerds. No, that sounds awesome. Cool. I'm into the trailer breakdowns.
Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff there.
Cool
for that.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that.
I never purchased Mario Maker 1. I never played through the kind of Nintendo made levels in that game. So I'm really excited to play 2. Be like really fresh into it. I might make some levels, who knows.
Me too.
I'm not very good at creating things like little game maker tools.
Sure.
I usually make horrendously ugly levels. See Scott Mai's Little Big Planet 1 and 2 levels. But they're fun, and I like to play around with them. We have some ideas for like extra life stuff of like have someone with a Switch making a Mario Maker level, and then have another team play it, and then have like 2 teams maybe going against each other to do that. That would be really fun. So I'm excited to jump headfirst into that one. Let's get into the real news we care about here, though. The Persona 5 news. Lots of Persona 5 news, just kind of across the board. There was a concert this week, and at the end of that, that's when they did the kind of unveil trailer of Persona 5 The Royal, which is kind of what we suspected it to be. It is the enhanced version of Persona 5, the kind of complete edition. Sounds like, I don't know. I don't want to like get ahead of myself, but to me, it sounds like this is probably like the most significant level of additional content compared to like Persona 3 to Persona 3 Fez, or Persona 4 to Persona 4 Golden. And maybe, like I said, I'm getting ahead of myself there, but it comes out October 31st on Halloween in Japan this year, and sometime in 2020 for the rest of the world. So it is a bummer we do have to wait for Persona 5 again. We are never not in a state of waiting for Persona, I think, is basically my end thoughts on it. But so there's the big thing is they're adding a whole new semester to Shujin. So there will be a whole, essentially third of the game that they are adding into this, which is big. That's a lot of stuff. They added all of January and half of December in Persona 3 Fez, and then all of January and parts of the way of December and February in Persona 4 Golden. Typically, the school year would start in April around then, and you kind of play through the end of the calendar year, and that's when the story ends. So this is getting you through the next April, it sounds like, almost, which is a lot of time to spend with those characters. It's a lot of days to do things, and it's a lot of room for story to happen. So I'm not really sure how they're going to be changing the story of Persona 5 around, if at all, to accommodate for this, but I think they did it really cleverly in Persona 4 Golden, so I think they'll be fine. They're adding a new party member. I don't have her name in front of me, but she is very cool.
What's her name, Tony?
I got it.
Huh?
Tony, do you know the new character's name? I have it if you don't.
Yes.
What is
Am I
it?
being quizzed?
Yeah, it's a pop quiz. What's the new character in Persona 5 The Royal's name?
Kasumi?
Kasumi Yoshizawa. is another transfer student. We don't even know when she's coming into the party, how she comes in the party.
I almost said Nico Bolas was her name because I was correcting Nabeshin's title when you asked me that question. That's why I was like, hold on a second.
Nico Bolas. That would be the greatest.
Bolas has come to the high school.
Just a cool, chill dragon showing out like, hey guys.
Best girl, Nico Bolas.
She looks super cool. And I can't wait to get to know her as a new character and a new party member. That's really cool. In the past, the new characters that they've added to Persona games in the re-release typically aren't party members. They're usually some kind of social link. And like there were a lot of ideas I heard about Persona 5 that were kind of on the chopping block. So I'm curious how much of them they're going to add here. If there's going to be new dungeons, if they're going to redo how Mementos is. It seems like there's going to be a lot of new stuff. There's going to be a new area in Japan, in Tokyo, to roam around called Kichijoji? Kichijoji? I don't know if I'm saying that wrong. I'm sure I am, but that is going to be a whole new area as well. There's a lot more stuff. There's a couple of trailers out there. There's going to be a human version of Morgana, which I don't know how I feel about. But he looks very handsome, so I guess I feel pretty good about it if I'm being real with everyone.
So people are horny for the human Catman.
Yeah, that's like a weird thing to like show people out the gate because it was kind of like a very late game cliffhanger of would they, won't they for that. So I guess at some point it does just happen. There's going to be new events with everybody hanging out together. Like I said, I'm sure the story will in some way be reworked. It essentially feels like a totally remade version of Persona 5. Even more so than some of the previous remakes. And it's coming out next year. And and it's getting fully redone up for 4K for PS4 Pro if you played on that. I think it's just coming to PS4 as well. It's not coming to PS3, as far as I can tell. So it's rad. Nabeshin, how are you feeling about this?
This is the only time I want to talk about it. I don't want to hear anything about it until release.
You just want to put it out of sight, out of mind?
Pretty much.
Okay. I'll do my best. I can't make a promise, but I'll do my best.
Do what you can.
For you.
Yeah. For you, though, I'm curious what you would personally need. Without getting, I guess, too spoilery for Persona 5, but like, what would you personally need for that? For it to be... I guess to be in the upper echelons of the other games.
Yeah, I think like this game will do it fine. Like I'm not really worried. I think knowing that
I don't really mean like that. I mean more of like
what does this have to do that the original didn't?
More of like if I were to make like a gut feeling of what this is compared to like the other ones, because the other ones feel like more of a story that needed to be told.
Mm-hmm.
And I would probably say this one is more of like this gave them more content for fans of the series.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe I'm just asking personally, just like is there something more that you need?
When I play this and I like don't have the kind of lingering doubt in my head that there's going to be a more definitive version of this game coming out in the near future, I think that's really all I need, right? Like that was like my big hang up with Persona 5 was the expectation plus this kind of concern that maybe there are gaps here that I am noticing having played Persona 4 and Persona 4 Golden. Like there are certainly things that I noticed when playing the original and I'm like, this is weird. And then they were gone. So I think just knowing that I'm playing the best version of the game and it is the complete story. It has everything that there is to tell here. Will put my mind at ease enough for me to maybe just enjoy it more, because I think I put a lot of pressure on myself when I was playing the Persona 5 originally. I still loved it, but I think every problem that I ultimately had with it was more with me than it was with the game itself. Like I certainly didn't connect to the characters as much, and I think more time with them is the one thing that game needs for sure, especially if they're going to add another party member. But overall, I think Persona 5 is such a phenomenal game. Like just having the Royal in my hands and being like, okay, this is it, front to back, this is the story. No ifs, ands, or buts will be plenty for me. I'm really excited to play this. I'm probably going to play Persona 5 again before this comes out.
I can't.
I know.
I did this to
myself, so.
I need to somewhat forget again and like
Yeah.
If anything, I'll play 4 again, and maybe even fire up 3 if I need it. If I'm like thirsting for something.
Yeah, I thought about that too. I think for me, like playing Vesperia back to back was actually like a really positive experience for me. And it was like a thing of like, wow, I like what they did with this, and I like what they did with this, and what I added with this, and this will be kind of like that, but I won't have to worry about different voice actors for all the characters. Or like significantly aged voice actors for all the characters. So I don't necessarily, it doesn't get to me in the same way that it might you. And so like I might just do it. I might bite the bullet, but maybe I'll find a way to keep myself entertained enough. I have like a save file like right at the third dungeon, the bank dungeon. So I have a good spot to jump back into. Tony, how do you feel about Persona 5 The Royal?
I mean, I think it should be pretty obvious. I'm gonna play the shit out of fucking game, dude.
Yeah, it
Rebuy system again.
Looks.
I don't know what I'm gonna end up playing it on.
Yeah, if we have to, maybe we'll. I can lend you my PS4 or something for it. This is worth it. It's important enough. I've done that in the past, so I'd do that for you, Tony. I want you to know. But
I'll play it on my PlayStation 7.
Yeah, finally. It is weird that this game is probably going to come out the same year as like the PlayStation 5, you know? It is weird that it is so far away. In reality, it's like relatively normal development time. I bet they've been working on this since before Persona 5 came out. But
I mean, like Persona 3 came out when I think the first game came out when the PS3 was out.
Yeah, no, Persona 4 came out in 2008 on PS2, so this is not crazy. It is cool seeing that they're gonna do it. They're gonna updo it on PS4 Pro and do full 4K, and they're probably gonna make it look a lot sharper and things like that. So, and there's gonna be new music. As someone who didn't play Persona 5, Mike, are you at all interested in the Royal?
Maybe. I don't know. Like Persona's always been that series. Like I have no ill will towards it. There's not been the thing that like has drawn me to be like, all right, I need to. And I feel like at this point, I don't know what it'll be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. Like I play plenty of like JRPGs and enjoy a lot of them, but I don't know what it is about like the Persona games, and I'm just kind of like. I saw like I remember like the thing that got me the most excited about something Persona related was when Joker got announced for Smash.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was because it was just kind of I get to go play more Smash again.
Is that because I mean to be fair, like that was done super well and
yeah, absolutely.
It was a very exciting time for all of us. Does that get you more interested in maybe checking out Persona 5?
Yeah, some like stuff like that definitely does. And just like the reverence of it in there and that whole kind of series, how they implemented like a couple of different things from the different Persona games into like the stage and all that, and Smash was really, really neat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Like there isn't anything specific I can put on that's just been like why I haven't like tried to jump into those games, but it's just been a consistent thing of like I saw the Royal stuff and was just kind of like, all right, cool. I'm sure the people who are gonna go play that game and want to play have already put like 100+ hours in those games are gonna do it all over again for this. But I don't know. I just haven't gotten the drive to jump into it. And like I think the thing was at least like from what a lot of people are super into Persona. I think the thing that got him into it was playing 4, and I just like wasn't a part of that.
Yeah,
like whole wheel. Like I
never too late to start, brother, man.
Yeah,
like I didn't see Persona 4 stuff until like Giant Bomb did their endurance run of it, of course, like years ago. So I watched like I didn't watch that the entirety of that run, but I watched a whole lot of it. So like I knew fairly well a lot of the like big points, some of the points in that game already to an extent. So like I feel like if I tried to like jump in, I would already know. Like I already know a lot of this, so like this is not going to keep me interested to keep going in some regards.
I'll say like that does make sense. The cool thing about Golden is that it does spice everything up You know, it changes everything, at least a low level, a little bit, whether that's like the mechanics of it being evolved and better to like certain bits of dialogue are even different. So like I know Giant Bomb played the original version. Like if you went back and played Golden, I think it would be different enough all the way through that you would feel pretty good about it.
Sure. But that's like, but I guess that comes back to the thing of like, I don't feel like the drive to like go through the hoops to play that version because isn't like, don't I have to like play that on PSP or
that'd be
like only
it's
on
a
that?
Vita,
it's like
it's a
Vita
bound thing. I'll say like you have to get that PlayStation TV, baby. You know,
when I had one of those.
I know a lot of people that jumped into 5 and they adore that game. So like if there's any interest at all, I think you can kind of jump into any of the major 3 and get something really powerful out of it. So just keep that in mind. Yeah. But yeah, no pressure. Obviously, I get it.
It might happen one day, but it's just
not today.
I didn't. Yeah,
Extra Life. There we go.
I don't feel the drive right now.
The background of Extra Life is like a cage. We have Mike locked in where he has to play Persona 5.
Extra Life's only 24 hours. Persona 5 takes 100 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be the next 4 Extra Lives. This might slowly.
No, you just one continuous Extra Life until you're done.
100 hours straight.
We're gonna do like 4 Extra Lives in a row, and then by the end of it, I'm just keep like, you know what? Actually, this kind of fucking sucks. Sorry.
You know what? I hate this game.
You and Scott go in your corner.
Get in the cage. I'm really excited. I think we talked about it briefly, Nabeshin, of like, man, I have to wait for Persona 5 all over again. But it's an exciting wait. I'm really excited to play that game again and play the Royal and see all the new stuff. Like this feels like, even on top of Golden, which was so huge and what they added to that game, this feels like the most significant overhaul of a Persona game for sure.
Oh my god, dude! I remember when I got into Golden and like we were standoffish or anything like that about it, but it was like you were just saying like, oh, it won't be enough content or something. Like I remember like saying like, man, you should play. And he's like, I played it. I played 4. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
And like you kind of knew about it, but then like when you actually started playing yourself, you were so shocked at how much content.
Yeah, how they changed it. Like, you know,
yeah,
the P Studios are very, very good at what they do, and I really have loved all the times they've kind of gone back and redone their work. Like, of the people that have done it, like, they are probably the only thing that's kind of come close, because I think Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix is like almost egregiously in the other direction, where it's like a lot of this probably should have been in this game, right? Not all of it, but some of it for sure. And it's maybe not different enough story wise to justify all of it being cut, but like Tales of Vesperia was the first time I was like, man, this is like a really well done, like heartfelt like addition to this game that like enhances it and fleshes out everything that you liked about it originally, that doesn't hurt anything that you liked about it before. And it's cool because like plot points are a little bit different in the definitive edition of Tales of Vesperia to make sense why Patty would be there, or make sense why Flynn would leave the Knights to be with your group and things like that. And the Persona team does exactly that in every single scene in their games to some extent. They're very good at what they do. So I have complete and utter faith in them, and I'm endlessly excited to play the Royal. It's going to be great.
Do you think they'll redo the localization for that game?
I think they might. I think they might listen to a little bit of feedback. I think they might redo some VO as well. I know they got a lot of feedback on it, so I'm hopeful, and I know they're going to have everybody record enough new dialogue to justify getting them to re-record some other bits. So, yeah, I think there's a good chance. I mean, they're probably doing that right now. So, I think that my thought is that the story is probably going to change pretty significantly. At least, not necessarily the beats of the story, but how it's paced out. Because I think like if you have, I mean, maybe not. But if you have the climax of that game in December still, like if you're going to do 4 months past that, it really changes how that game has to end, I think. But maybe not. They made it. Well, there is like one big thing where it's like, well, you can't actually have the protagonist do that if you're going to be playable for months and months at the end of that game. So yeah, they'll have to change some things, and I'm really excited to see how they change that, because like I said, them adding a whole new semester is like the most significant addition to any of their games especially if it's a whole semester and not just a half semester. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Persona 5S or P5S was something that was announced as just P5S, and we would get more information at the end of the month on it. It's the end of the month. We got more information. It's a Persona Dynasty Warriors video game. Congratulations, everyone. We all lost. Persona 5 Scramble is here. It's like, what? Persona 5 Scramble : something.
It's like Phantom Thieves, probably think something like that.
Phantom Strikers? That might be it. Persona 5 Scramble: The Phantom Strikers. It's a partner and developed with Koei Tecmo and Omega Force, the folks what made the Dynasty Warriors games, also made Fire Emblem Warriors, Hyrule Warriors, kind of like the other partnership Warriors games. Was it Dragon Quest Warriors?
Dragon Quest.
Yeah, the Gundam one. So like they've been doing this a lot recently. I wonder if they just kind of went around and be like, "Hey, you guys want a Dynasty Warrior game? Like, we'll make it for you. Like, what do you guys this property? We can make that a Dynasty Warriors. Like a quick wipe your hands of it, make it happen." Yeah, there's a little trailer of it. It has some of the kind of visual stylistic nature of Persona 5, which is cool. So it still has kind of like the heavy lines around every character's art and like the kind of cel-shadedness to the character art and the character model. So it's carrying that over into this Dynasty Warriors game, but it's a Dynasty Warriors game, so just keep that in mind. I said this about Persona 5 Scramble, and I still stand by it. I'm more interested in this kind of game for me personally than I would be like a Persona 5 fighting game, which is what I had kind of resigned myself to think it was going to be before it was ultimately announced. But either way.
Don't get it. You didn't like Hyrule Warriors, so don't even get this.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to get it. But
sorry, Fire Emblem
Warriors. Yeah. But I whatever. Like, I don't hate that this exists. I'm not going to be a hater on it. I don't think it hurts or.
I'm gonna get it. I love those games.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a harsh. That's not harsh.
That's a
little bit too much
positive.
of a commitment.
Yeah.
I enjoy those games.
Those games are fine. This game will probably be fine.
Hyrule Warriors is not bad.
Yeah.
I actually loved Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah.
A lot of people like Dragon Quest Warriors.
I thought about playing that after I got into some Dragon Quest games last year.
As it turns out, nobody liked Fire Emblem Warriors.
Yeah, I feel like that game went super fast.
Yeah, I paid $60.
Maybe it just wasn't a good Dynasty Warriors game.
That's what I'm thinking. That's my hope, and
fair.
I will wait to see what people think about Persona 5 Scramble. But
I'm pretty sure the general consensus that Hyrule Warriors was a pretty good Dynasty Warriors game.
Yeah.
Maybe this one just wasn't.
Yeah, it's my hope.
Because Dynasty Warriors does that sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A little all over the map, like Dynasty Warriors 9, for example, which a lot of people do not like.
It's every even Dynasty Warriors games that are good, and all the other ones are bad.
Yeah, it's every Dynasty Warriors offshoot Muso game with a P in the title that are good, and then the ones. The only other news story I pulled for this week was NPDs, which I like to talk about. NPDs. Yep.
Jeez.
I'm just going to go through the top 10 from March real quick, and then we can talk about a couple little details on it. Number 10.
Where dues?
Yes, I'm reading this from Go Nintendo, but all these come from Mr. Matt Piscatella on Twitter. I think it's just at Matt Piscatella. He just tweets these out. 1T. He's so good to follow. I know I've mentioned this before. Probably a lot of other podcasts have as well at this point. He's a great follow. He like gives little insights on top of everything too.
Responds nicely too. You respond nicely to his stuff. So.
Yeah. Don't come at him because he will come at you. But he's a nice guy and he's totally willing, and he likes to talk about like the numbers. He even like the day before they go live, he'll say like, "What do you guys think is going to be like the number 3, the top 3 games for the month?" Yeah, he's a good follow. So the top 10 best-selling games from March 2019 are in order from number 10, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, Yoshi's Crafted World, which is cool to see that on the list, GTA 5, NBA 2K19, Red Dead Redemption 2, Smash Bros. Ultimate, which is wild to see that at number 5 again, Devil May Cry 5, MLB 19 The Show, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, and Tom Clancy's The Division 2. So pretty much every major release in March ended up doing pretty well, which is cool.
Nice.
Excuse me, sorry. I should have used my inhaler during the break, but here we are. Some other call-outs from the bottom 10. Anthem is still there. It's at number 11. Jump Force at number 13. Far Cry New Dawn at number 15. Breath of the Wild at number 18. And Borderlands 1 at number 19, which shows the power of Borderlands when they announced 3, that people bought 1 again.
Well, that remaster came out too.
I don't know if it's specifically that remaster, though. So I feel like it would have been Borderlands.
It totally is the remaster.
Weird.
Yeah.
Weird that they didn't label it as such.
Well, it's kind of like the thing when you put like Mario Kart 8, it still counts the Wii version.
Okay,
got it. Yeah.
Got it. Even though no one's buying it there. Gotcha. Yeah. So total sales for video games were down from March 2018, but and most things were down, but I feel like there was something big last March. Maybe I'm totally blanking on it though. Switch was the best-selling platform in March, as well as the first quarter of the year overall, which is pretty rad. The top 10 best-selling games of 2019 so far, so year to date, through January through March. Number 1 is Kingdom Hearts 3, which is really cool. Number 2 is unbelievable. Yeah, it's unbelievable. The power of anime. Let me tell you. What were you gonna say, Mike?
Those are the power of Disney.
Yeah, true. I feel like the anime is what's really pulling the weebs in for Kingdom Hearts 3, though. But maybe I'm wrong.
People will show up for Frozen, let me tell you.
I'll show up for Frozen. Number 2, Tom Clancy's The Division 2. So in third month of the year, it went right up to number 2. I'm amazed that it didn't outsell Kingdom Hearts 3, but here we are. Number 3 is Anthem. Number 4 is Resident Evil 2. Number 5, Red Dead 2. Number 6, Jump Force. Number 7, Smash Brothers. Number 8, Sekiro. Number 9, Call of Duty Black Ops 4. And number 10, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. I'm really excited to see Sekiro number 8 on that list. It sounds like it did over like 2 million units in its first week, or its first 10 days. It might have actually been, and that's worldwide. So I know it did pretty well, but obviously it's like a new IP from Software. It's not necessarily the same fan base, but I imagine most of them there's a lot of crossover there. Those are the big lists for this. Follow Matt Piscatella for more, but just a couple of cool shout outs there. It's cool. Switch still going very, very, very strong. And if it's true that they're going to announce and release 2 new versions of that console this year, that console's probably going to be all right. I'll let y'all know.
Mm-hmm.
Just a quick shout out from last year. Like there wasn't really anything in March that came out. Like the biggest games that came out since March was Monster Hunter World and Dragon Ball FighterZ. So anything of note from and Far Cry 5. There you go. There he is.
Yeah, Far Cry 5 was last March. That's when it was. That was the 25th, I think. So it was like a nice, good chunk of that month for that franchise, at least because they sell bananas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's probably why the numbers might have been down. But yeah, shout out to Ubisoft owning March like 2 years in a row, pretty much.
Yeah.
That is all I pulled for news. Like I said, we did not get any questions this week because I forgot to ask for them. But if you'd like to send them in, you can tweet them at IrrationalPod with the hashtag IPQ, or leave us a voicemail 404-590-1337, or send us an email, mailsack at irrationalpodcast.com. Now that I think about it, I think Silver PR might have sent us an email. Yeah, he did.
I also have a quick thing.
Ooh.
So just dropped today.
Yeah, hit me with it, Mike. You go first.
The Kingdom Hearts DLC.
Yeah.
Free mind. What are you thinking? How do you feel about it?
So let me pull this up. This is actually a good one. I totally forgot that they announced it.
Yeah.
Today.
Because it seems like this is basically at least like the story portions of what we get out of Final Mix.
Yeah.
DLCs.
Point of reference.
This is it.
There was a Kingdom Hearts 3 update on Tuesday. It was a free update. It added critical mode, so that is now in Kingdom Hearts 3. If you'd like to go check it out, Scott, I know I definitely plan on doing it at some point.
One big shout out that I heard from critical mode is that there's an ability that you get in critical mode that turns off attractions, and that makes it already pretty good.
It's already pretty all right.
Yep.
Let's see. I'm trying to find. The DLC is called Remind, and that's big R, little E, and then all capital Mind. So if you think they're out of the bad naming conventions, you are wrong.
Yep. Gotta keep it going.
So it was announced at a Kingdom Hearts Orchestra performance. It is an additional scenario called Remind. Will feature a secret episode, a secret boss, limited episodes, and bosses. It's like in addition, there are limited episodes and bosses. DLC will include the English language option for Kingdom Hearts 3's Japanese versions, which is cool. And launch date and price were not mentioned, but there will be a new Keyblade and with it a new form.
So the one thing that I saw somebody pointed out, that the Keyblade and the form that comes with the Keyblade will actually be free.
Yes.
And all the other stuff is though paid. It will be paid content. You have to buy.
Yeah, so it is additional stuff. I don't know what they're gonna add. I imagine it is probably Radiant Garden related.
Really, that would be pretty good if it was that.
That is my best guess. I feel like that is the most glaring kind of omission from Kingdom Hearts 3.
You're right. That'd be great.
A stadium.
Yeah, some kind of combat stadium. There's not.
I'm actually...
Honestly, that is like legit a real possibility. Now, I need you to start treating it like one.
I mean, they said there was going to be a couple DLC things, so
yeah,
we could. The dream would be maybe if there's that. Like, hopefully, there's also like I would also like now that you mentioned it, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Radiant Garden, like them adding like you can go to Radiant Garden would be fantastic.
That makes the most sense for me, and that I feel like you can add like a lot of secrets, bring a lot of characters back that people wanted to see, and then obviously have secret bosses and whatnot. So that's cool. It's a good pull, Mike. I'm sorry I forgot about that.
No worries. I got you.
I appreciate you. We did get an email, which y'all know I love me some emails. There we go. I'm like looking for the music for the mail sack. It's literally dead center, the one that I have highlighted. You can send your emails, like I said earlier, mailsack@irrationalpouch.com, like Silver PR did. Our good friend Silver PR sent us an email. He says, "Hello, my friend Silver PR here. Some years back, I used to send you a guessing game of back cover ad blurbs for video game box art. This is very relevant to our bet, too. Although I have planned to revive that in the future, I will give a twist this time around. Guess the quote. It's simple. Guess the character and what game the quote took place. 2 points max if you guess both. So here we go. Have fun. I guess I know all the answers at this point now. I will just ask you all. Ooh, there's a lot of these. This will be fun.
Yeah, they do something similar on
Easy Allies.
The the Game Informer show. They do back of the box trivia.
Very cool. All right.
Good.
I guess like whoever, if you think of it, shout it out, and I'll tell you at the end. First quote: "We all make choices, but in the end, our choices make us."
Mass Effect. I don't know.
Mike, you have a guess?
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, Mass Effect's a good guess.
Bonus points if you guess who said it, though.
Oh, so it's a person.
Well, I mean, so I have a person and the game. I'm not necessarily saying that you're right or wrong, but you get 2 points if you get both of them.
Got it. I'm gonna say Fallout 3.
Okay. Tony, Scott, do either of you have choices? The quote is, "We all make choices, but in the end, our choices make us." You guys will be pissed when you see what this is. I'll take that as I gotta call it.
Hold on, no, I'm thinking.
I got it. No, I know.
Thinking.
Are you Googling this? There's no Googling.
No, dude, listen back to my recording. You can't hear my keyboard, dude.
Okay.
Because I've heard this before. I was trying to remember from where.
You have all heard this before for sure. Maybe not Scott. No, Scott.
Oh, I know where it comes from.
What is it?
From BioShock.
You were right. Do you know who says it?
No. I'm surprised I remembered even that.
Andrew Ryan says it. 1 point for Tony. That's good. One who knows nothing can understand nothing. This is obviously a classic. Classic. Who wants to say it?
Kingdom Hearts 2.
Kingdom Hearts 1.
All right. It is. Yeah, you're right.
Some fucking stupid ass weeb game, I'm sure.
Do you know who says it?
Ansem.
Yes.
What of Kingdom Hearts 1? Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 1 Ansem. Listen to my story. This may be our last chance.
Final Fantasy X. Titus.
Yeah, nice, Mike. Very good.
Or sorry, Titus. Titus.
Whatever, dude.
Fuck it.
Whatever the weebs are saying now. You can't give up now. There ain't getting off this train we on. Any guesses?
Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yo, from Resident Evil 2.
No. He is a train, so that's
Yeah, just don't get off.
that's definitely Cole from Gears of War.
Oh, that's a good guess.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
I was gonna.
It's not that, but it's a great
I don't know.
guess.
If I had to guess, it's probably from like some cutscene in a fucking Tales game or something.
It's Barrett Wallace from Final Fantasy VII.
Hey, I was close.
Kinda. The right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world. None of you are gonna get this, I don't think.
No, I know what it is.
You know what it is, Scott?
Yeah, it's Link from Breath of the Wild.
No. Fucking Hades. His first spoken dialogue. That's the G-Man from Half-Life 2. I knew none of you would get that, so. It's easy to forget what a sin is in the middle of a battlefield.
So it's from like some Call of Duty game.
I can't just tell you. You can just say a Call of Duty game. That could be your guess. Nabeshin, do you have any guess?
It's definitely not Metal Gear, so no, I do not know.
Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid.
Nailed it, Nabeshin.
First one?
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 1.
Yep, wouldn't know.
Nothing is true, everything is permitted.
Oh.
Ezio from Assassin's Creed.
Yes.
Can we all have a point for that?
Yeah, you all get a free point for that one. Mike gets 2, but
I still wouldn't have known that one.
endure and survive.
That's like too generic.
It's very
Yeah,
generic.
it's super generic.
But, you know,
It's a bad question. Move on.
it's Ellie from The Last of Us. She's actually quoting the comic book that she's reading.
How many people would have gotten that in a vacuum? 0.
I don't know. That's true. Wake me up when you need me.
Evanescence.
Yes.
Actually, I think I know what that is though.
Do you know what that is, Mike?
Is it Cortana?
It's from Halo, but I don't know who says
yeah,
it.
I think I'm gonna say it's.
Chief, right?
It's Master Chief.
Oh yeah, it
from
would be
Halo
Master
3.
Chief, yeah.
John 117, baby. Every puzzle has an answer.
Tetris block.
You guys, some of you are working really hard on this game. Professor Layton from Professor Layton in the Curious Village. This is a good one. I hope one of you gets this. Science is not about why, it's about why not. Wow. I like putting you guys on the spot. This is so fun.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, the Black Science Man.
Steven.
The Black Science.
That's what people call him, dude. Already.
People gotta stop calling him that. Cave Johnson from Portal 2. Here we go. Hard to see the big picture behind a pile of corpses.
Some shooter.
I guess technically it is a shooter.
Excuse me while I
that
Google
one-
this
that
so I can
one's
find out what you
actually
mean by
familiar.
sort of a shooter.
What'd you say, Scott?
That one actually sounds familiar for once.
I think you have played this game, Scott. That is Mordin Solus from Mass Effect 3.
Nope, didn't play that one.
Boy.
This is a bonus or tiebreaker. I don't think there's any tie that needs to be broken, but a famous explorer once said that the extraordinary is in what we do, not who we are. That's Lara Croft from the Tomb Raider reboot. Thank you.
Yeah, I would. Yep, nope.
Thank you, Silver PR, for the gift that was stumping my co-host with this game.
Hey, I got like 2 points.
Yeah, so you got some points. I think Mike handily took it, but
Did I? Oh.
yeah, you had for sure the most points. But no, that was fun. I like games. If anybody has any more games, feel free to email them in to me. Mailsack at irrationalpatches.com. Some other things to keep in mind if you like the show. Follow the show on Twitter at irrationalpod. You can follow us on Instagram at irrationalpassions as well. Rate and review us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, wherever you listen to the show. Wherever you prefer, Spotify, another place that you can listen to it. Check out our other shows like Input and Video Game Book Club. We just started BioShock, so if you want to start playing BioShock with us, you can watch along. The first episode's going to post of Book Club for BioShock is going to post next Friday.
It's BioShock 2.
BioShock 2. Specifically, yes. Good call out. And then we're going to record the next episode the Wednesday after that. So look forward to that. And for everything else, Irrational Passions, irrationalpassions.com is the place to be. Mike, you are at Mike Hits the Wall on Twitter if people want more of you. And all of our Twitter handles are in the show notes, so you can go check those out. That's it. That's the show. We've reached the end, which means, Mike, I know it's your favorite part. It's time for bets. Tony.
What?
It's time for bets.
You're not getting it this week. Fuck you.
Damn, dude. I'm hurt. Is it because of the game?
Bets.
Thank you. That's all I needed.
Just bets.
So, Mike, since we're going to have an editorial member on the team forever now, you're going to get your own team. You were adopting the Norders. I don't know if you want to make a name change real quick. Since you're gonna have to carry this Crucible with you forever. I don't know. I feel like the Norders fits, you know.
Norders. What is that supposed to be, like some meta thing? Like we're taking over?
Maybe, yeah. That's what it is. It's a meta commentary. It usually was the guest team, and now you guys are gonna fill the same slot. So
great.
It's whatever you want it to be. I'll let you think about it.
I was trying to think of a name that would, I guess Norders would make the rest of the editorial team upset because it is a Kingdom Hearts reference.
Yeah,
so I was trying to think of something that, like, since I'm the first one, they'd have to stick.
But that kind of makes it better, though.
Making everyone else upset.
Scott will like it as well. I'll give you time to think about it while I read this week's bet. How about that?
Great.
This week's bet: what will the total download size of Dauntless be on PS4? Dauntless comes out on PS4. It might already be out, but I don't know. But it's supposed to come out by the end of April. I think it is actually coming out next Tuesday. So,
what is Dauntless?
Dauntless is a Monster Hunter-like that is free to play. It's been available on PC for quite a while. I think it might not be free to play on PS4. They might be charging for it there, but it's cool. It's got like a kind of more stylistic art style. It's finally coming out of early access with the PS4 and Xbox One launch. So
was it at PAX?
It was at PAX. The party that I ended up going to with Scott and Jarrett was the Dauntless party, which was super fun. Dauntless is like one of those games that's like always at PAX. It's been at PAX for like 4 years, and now it's finally coming to consoles, which is cool. Apparently they want to put it on Switch too, but we can keep our hopes and dreams alive for that. It is, I would say, it's probably not going to be maximum size. It's probably not going to be minimum size. That's like the only kind of information I have going into this, but I really don't know.
Online only, right?
I believe it is online only. Yeah. Not that
12.3.
You can play by yourself, but I believe you have to be online. 12.3. I like that. Man, mine was 14.5. Same headspace now, which I respect it.
I was going to say an even 15 gig.
15 gig.
Alex, we're really fucking covering a lot of ground.
Yeah, you know us, always real widespread. Scott?
25.
I like it. Mike?
Sorry, I've been thinking of team names this whole time and completely missed the
What will the total download size of Dauntless be on PS4?
Choose a number between 5 and 50, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
47.
Damn.
Ooh, high end.
The fucking assets right there, dude.
Yeah.
Let's get the 4K patch.
Going to 4K.
What did you think of a good team name?
So I have 3.
Excellent.
So I'll let you guys be the judges.
Okay.
The first one, Team Days Gone to Bed.
Logan would not like that. He might be on next week, which I kind of love.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Team name gets changed again next week.
Yeah, of course.
Team Editorial : Become Human. And
Also good.
the third one's similar. Team David Cage Fan Club.
Oh yeah, we got to go with that. I think that I like that one the most.
I am David Cage.
But are we got to implement the rule or not?
What, that if someone says that they want to change it, then they can change it
within the next minute?
Well, I don't know about the next minute. I would say within the next if the next person comes on there like I want to change the name, I'll let them. It's way more fun. It's way more fun this way.
So none of my names matter, basically.
No, they're all incredible. I should have written down all of them as like backups for future people. I don't think they're going to want to change the name. I'm pretty sure that's like
great,
solid. That is the true name.
But it's more fun when they do want to change the name.
The true canonical name.
Exactly.
But it's more fun when they do want to change the name.
I mean, I agree, but I'm not going to I'll let the chaos happen. Chaos is a ladder, after all.
This is how the chaos does happen.
It's you. You're pulling the strings the whole time. All right. Let's settle last week's bet. Thank you to everyone that helped with this bet. Also, I'll give them all specific shout-outs. Mortal Kombat 11 releases on April 23rd. On the back of the box, how many total Ks will be in the description of the game.
This bet.
This is basically not necessarily the description of the game, but the kind of text outside the legalese at the bottom. I said 5. Scott said 14. Tony said 34. Nabeshin said 27. You guys all bet way too high. I'll let you know. I've not looked at it yet.
I said 34.
Yeah, well, you're insane, Tony. Big shout out to Logan Moore, who actually texted me a very high resolution copy of the Xbox One box. I'm going to text that to you now, Nabeshin, so we can kind of both.
I've seen it already.
Well, he sent me another one that's a little bit better that he texted directly to me. But
bullshit, though. Video games are dead.
Video games suck.
There used to be like a lot of description, tell you what the game is and everything. No, there's just pictures.
This is exactly what I anticipated, so I'm very happy. Also, thank you to Andrew Gonzalez, who tweeted at me at the back of the box for the premium edition, and Jared for tweeting me the copy of the Switch edition. So thank you, everybody who helped out with this. Let's see. Mortal Kombat is back. That's one, and better than ever in the next evolution of the iconic franchise. They didn't even put a K in for the C's in iconic, dude. It's total garbage.
Well, the whole thing is with the K, to be sure, is they only ever do it as the first C in a word.
Yeah, typically.
That's like their
right.
Rule.
It has to be the first letter.
Yeah, there's cinematic, which they didn't do. There's custom, what they didn't do. When they do it in the game, is like consumables. There's K in that, so it's garbage. It's stupid.
By my count, there's 2, and it's both just the name of Mortal Kombat. Does that sound right now, Nabeshin?
Video games are dead.
Whatever, man. Fuck this.
You can't even use K's anymore.
Which means I did it. I had a bet of 5, which I thought it might be like just not a lot of text on the back, and it is just not a lot of text on the back. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry, Nabeshin, the video games are ruined forever. It brings team about to bust a bet. Tony and my team up to 7 points. Going strong, Tony. We're gonna take this. And then team doubling down, still running strong at 4 points. And the David Cage fan club, as now titled, is 3 points. Fantastic, excellent. This was the whole show. I will say for audio listeners and video viewers, if you want to stick around after the titles segment, after we close out the show, Nabeshin and I are going to talk about Endgame. So if you don't want to get that spoiled, you can just stop listening. Thank you everybody so much for Well, thank you to Silver PR for emailing in. Thanks to everybody who normally writes in or send us the back of the box for Mortal Kombat. I really appreciate it. I love you all very much. Thank you to Danny Weichner for opening music of 2-player co-op and our closing music of The World is Saved. And thank you, Tony Scott Nabeshin, for joining me as always. Thank you, Mike, for coming on. I'm very excited to have you on a lot more often. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to rope you into some of these shenanigans, I promise.
Great.
Can't
wait.
I love you all. Big hugs all the way around. If you like Irrational Passions, you should check out irrationalpassions.com. One last plug. Thank you very much. I've been your host, Alex O'Neill. Play your games. Stay irrational. We will talk to you all next week.
Titles.
You want to keep recording, Mike, for this?
I got some titles.
Still recording.
There's a lot of images in this title.
I've added some visual aids.
Yeah.
I'm interested in New Girl and don't need to know her back. Never go full Lost Planet 2. Time to Gun.
TTG baby.
Nicol Bolas. The Black Science Man. And Video Games Are Dead.
I mean, there's a couple I'm gonna have to veto. Specifically, the Black Science Man. Also, I don't know if you guys know. What's his face? I don't even remember his name. He got canceled for like sexual harassment and stuff. So.
What?
He's canceled as a person.
What do you mean canceled?
It's like when the kids say like if you're in part of like some kind of scandal and
is that so?
You're discovered as a bad person, you're officially canceled.
Shit. So if I have like some dirt on Alex, I can just fucking cancel.
You could put it on the Twitter and I could get canceled.
Damn. Does that mean like people will like stop paying their subscription to have you being alive?
Yeah, and you know what? If they all cancel their subscriptions, you know I die, Tony. So this is not a fucking game.
Yeah, dude. They need you to believe.
Yeah, it has to be Nicol Bolas, and it's It's so funny to me. I think it's so funny. Just this fucking dragon named Nicol Bolas. I love him. It's a very good picture of this dragon, also.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. Mike, what do you want the title of the episode to be?
I do like Nicol Bolas as well, but I also like Time to Gun.
TTG is good.
TTG.
Such a fun,
very good
in book club. That was fun. Nabeshin, what do you like?
I'm going with Nika.
Scott.
Oh, fantastic! My vote doesn't matter anymore, so we're immediately going for the Black Science Man.
Same, I agree.
It seems like Nicol Bolas has taken it. Tony, can you say the episode title? And then Mike, do you know the bit to say leading into it?
Yeah, I can.
I don't. What's the bit?
I will write it down for you. Oh God, I can't spell.
You're listening.
Oh, it's just the.
It's the opening bit.
You're listening to.
Yeah, it's bit number 1. The actual title's bit number 2.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a bit number 3.
Sometimes we fill in with a third bit.
Just not feeling
third
it
bit.
today.
That's okay, Scott. You pull more than enough weight on this podcast, so you hush. When you're ready, Mike.
You're listening to the Irrational Passions podcast, episode 421.
Nicol Bolas.
Perfect. You guys can stop recording now, except for you, Nabeshin. I do want to leave this in the audio show. I just stopped recording. What is wrong with me, Nabeshin? I was the one. I said you can. All right, you can stop.
Literally as you were saying
you can stop recording. I'll pull it from the video. It's fine. We're gonna talk about Endgame spoilers now. So everyone else, you're all dismissed. Mike, thanks for coming on. It was so much fun. I hope you had a good time.
Time to go. See ya.
Yeah, have a good night, Scott.
Ping me after you guys are done, but before you leave.
Gotcha. I will. It is you and me now, Nabeshin. Hold on, let me put up a little spoiler banner, and then we can chit chat. And you can, I don't know if you heard me, but you can stop recording. I'll just get the audio. Okay. We're here, Nabeshin, you and me. Once again, we've gathered around the fireside to discuss spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel walking out of that movie?
Like similar to like what I've been feeling as of late, really. Like kind of like how I felt like when I beat Kingdom Hearts 3.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of how I felt when kind of like when I felt playing Smash Brothers Ultimate in a weird way. There's like this weird combination of something of where being with something for so long and just like being so fulfilled. It just like this it's a weird feeling, man. Like I went with my best friend Tony, and like we usually like walk around a fountain like that's right by the movie theater, just like talk about the movie like afterwards, and we just talk about like our thoughts and feelings and stuff like that. And like in like mid conversation, he just like broke down crying. He just like straight up broke out down crying, and like he's like, man, this has been our lives for like 10 years, and like just being here and just being there for, because obviously he was crying during the movie. It was just like a lot, man. It was just a lot.
It is a lot. I think a little bit of, and forgive me for this because I think I'm going to come at this from a bit of a different perspective. Mm-hmm. I had a pretty good expectation of what the actual plot of the movie was going to be, and I kind of correctly guessed how it was going to open. Everything pretty much save for the time jump. But I felt that the way things went right at the beginning, where it was like, there's no hope, right? And also we're gonna kill Thanos. So like I think a lot of the early shock went on, and then it was like things around that really like shook me. Like it was really hard to process some parts of this movie, just because like I was so kind of taken aback at some of the visuals. The key being like emaciated like Tony Stark at the beginning, and like how upset he was. Like I didn't really expect that at all, and it was like really upsetting. And like him like on the little thing, it was like there's not really anything that can prepare you for a visual like that, and it's weird like going from that to obviously like his death at the end. And like I think like I keep hanging myself up on the time jump of like, how much did we miss? How much do I not know? And I don't know if they like really rectified that well enough.
What do you mean by that?
Like, I like the jumping into like these characters are very different, but I don't like not knowing how they got there. Right? A lot of what I like about the MCU movies is like I feel like we get to see every beat along the way. Whether you want to or not, like you can watch Avengers and then jump in the Age of Ultron, and you kind of get the gist of like Tony Stark's PTSD and whatnot, but you can also go and experience that story and see him like overcoming that and really working on that. And I feel like we just got all this stuff, that all these great character moments or like seeing our characters really at the lowest, like kind of taken away from us. And maybe it's me still kind of processing that, and maybe it's really not as big a deal as I'm making it out to be in my head. But like, jumping into Fat Thor, which is great and such a fun commentary on Chris Hemsworth's body image and everything, and jumping into Professor Hulk and all these things is like cool, but it felt really weird. And it just like I couldn't shake that weird feeling for that first half of the movie.
I would say like it's kind of like what I told Tony when we got out that movie. It feels like two different things. Like I would say like the first like half of that movie, even it's like it's just a character movie. It's not like it's not even about action or anything like that. It's just like just being with the characters and like seeing how they feel and like just where they're at in life and their mindset and like how they view things now. And it's like, and it's something that I feel was kind of earned at this point, because like because if you've seen like the other movies, obviously, because like no one with like fresh eyes should like probably see this movie, honestly, because like even more than like Infinity War, like I feel like this one is like strictly like for people who's like been through the thick and thin as far as like all this stuff, because like but like like it's something like Thor, for instance, like let's say like him killing Thanos at the beginning of that movie, and then like him just becoming like this alcoholic, just like guy who just like he this feels like a complete failure. And just like like it just kind of just wrecked his life. It's like sure he killed the guy who like was responsible for like half his people dying, but like there was no satisfaction out of it because like he still failed at like the ultimate thing because like half the population was gone and like he felt that was his responsibility in a way because he had the thing to kill Thanos but he didn't do it the right way at the right time. So like it's like different things like that and like Tony and his family and like Cap like struggling with his past love of Peggy. Because like like it's been mentioned before throughout the movies, but like it was like really emphasized like after those 5 years that like it was like he said like that was the love of his life, and you're kind of like whoa, like the love of your life, like when you, like, that's a little much, but like I think it was like an understanding that he felt like yeah she was really something special, even more so that he's been gone for so long, while he's at the lowest that he's ever been as far as like the biggest loss in his life really. As far as like like his biggest failure in his life, I should say, but like that's how I felt about it.
Yeah, no, I get that. I guess maybe like I think I was just so shocked by some of the imagery. Like I was still trying to process that while those character moments were happening, and I wasn't really appreciating them while I was happening. It's the first time I'm like I not only do I want to see this movie again, but I need to really fully appreciate it. I think, which is cool. Like I haven't really had that. Like I hadn't had that forever until I saw Spider-Verse, and then I have it again with Endgame. I think I definitely liked Endgame more than I liked Infinity War.
I think I'm probably the opposite, but I still adore Endgame.
I like
multiple reasons.
I have like very specific things that I really do not like about Infinity War, mostly around like Thanos and like how they kind of very casually use abusive imagery with him, and it like really makes me kind of sick to my stomach at certain points in that movie.
Sure.
Specifically in regards to like there's that one scene with Nebula and everything, and like that, and like the whole everyone's like maybe Thanos was right afterwards. I was like,
no.
It's like maybe actually no.
Like see, the thing about that really makes me mad when people are like that is like, well, Thanos things make sense because like he's only killing half the population. Yet like with the Peter Dinklage character, he fucking killed everyone there and took his hand. So like there's no middle ground with that. That's a stupid.
Yeah.
Anyway, but especially in this movie, like the whole full circle with that. Yeah, it's like in this movie, he's just purely just a villain.
Yeah.
Because there's no like in between about it. It's like because like in a way you could say like in his eye he could see himself being a hero, just like but he's a very selfish one.
Yeah.
Because like he wants some satisfaction from it. He wants some thanks for this. Like I doing you guys a favor. Oh, you guys don't want to take this favor? Well, fuck you. I'm taking my ball with me and just like destroying everything and just redoing everything. Like that's not no.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And I like how they showed like how would this kind of thing affect people, and it's like the support group scene I really liked, and I was like really happy with how they ended up playing through that in the final movie of just like I didn't have my breakdown until halfway through dinner, and like they had it like right at the beginning. It's like this is everybody's dealing with this, and no one is free from it. And again, like maybe I just want more of that. Maybe I just wanted more of that ultimately, but that's like outwardly selfish. I think like once the movie gets going, it's like so incredible. And it never stops. Like it really, like you said, culmination, and like obviously that's it. But like, they didn't just like pick Thor: Dark World as the setting of one of their things like by accident. Like they know people,
right.
They know people fucking hate that movie. They know people think it's the worst movie that they've made as a collective, and they went back to redeem it, right? And I think they did a good job at it too, to a very small extent, sure, but. That's like so cool. Like nobody else would have done that. Everyone else would have done like all the biggest fights, right? Like the Ultron fight, this fight. Like they would have just done the biggest fights. But no, they were like, no, we're gonna go back to the biggest fight, the Avengers 1 moment, but also like these really great quiet moments. Yeah, it's crazy, man. I didn't cry during it, which I was like kind of surprised by. I got like pretty messed up, like almost full stream tears at the Avengers Assemble moment, which is like maybe we'll get to it, but like the Iron Man stuff of like this feels right, like this feels maybe I feel like might have done a little bit of a disservice to Iron Man's final act. I don't know how you feel about this. I've been thinking about it a lot. I feel like it's just like a very selfish thing to do, to snap Thanos and all of his armies out of existence. I feel like if Tony knew that he would die just doing that, when they were like winning and they were gonna be all right, I think generally, it just feels weird. But maybe that's just like I had a skewed perspective on how well they were doing. But I guess like
I mean, at that point he almost had the gauntlet again.
Yeah.
So like it was like that was a rash decision, but like it was a decision and he had to make it right then and there.
Yeah. It's just weird.
Yeah.
It's weird that Tony had to die for that, you know. But also like I don't necessarily know a better or worse way that they would have done it. And
it's like for me going into the movie myself, it's like not knowing anything, not really wanting to know anything, but like also not interested in knowing anything because it's like it's kind of a weird thing because like because like people like from like since like Infinity War, people were just talking like, oh man, like everyone has to die or something like that. And it's like I never really came from that mindset. It's just like if they all die, like okay. If they don't die, like that's good too. It's like I didn't see. It's not like I didn't expect anybody to die because like if they did, like I'm I would prepare for that. But it was more of like
I wanted there to not be like a wasteful death, and I don't think there was, right?
Yeah.
I like ultimately half the Avengers were kind of taken out of the game by the end of this. Well, 4 if you include Hulk, because like he probably can't fight anymore. But I don't think they like wasted any of that. I think they did a very good job of like subverting what you think is going to happen, like right out the gate of like Professor Hulk is here, Thor is fat, Tony's out of the game, Cap and Black Widow are the only ones that are like really still trying to fight, and Hawkeye's kind of doing his own thing. And then the way everything plays out, like I was upset that Black Widow died. Like I really like her character, but I don't think she went out poorly. And obviously like a really intimate moment between her and Hawkeye being the end of that is like a really great bookend to what they built that relationship up in Avengers 1.
Yep, totally platonically too. It's just like two people who loved each other deeply, but like very much like you're like my sister, you're like my brother.
Yeah, and it's like it's a well done relationship too.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And it's like that last shot where it's like, you've redeemed yourself, and it's like, yeah, but if I go, I can like leave that for you to do for you too. And it's like, man, like you can tell how much they care about each other. And like you said, in like a non-romantic way that is like never seen ever.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I like obviously I kind of had an inkling of where Cap's story was going to go. When you see Peggy Carter in 1970, when he's like in an office, I was like, he's going to go back for her. I honestly thought he was going to be out of the game then. I'm glad he wasn't. But I like that. That is the right ending to give Cap. I do not for a second believe that he would have stood aside and did nothing in the years and years and years he was in hiding with Peggy. But maybe there's a story to tell there that's interesting. So
it's stuff like that really like makes me love this movie. It's stuff like his last words to Peggy when they were flying, when he was about to crash, is like we gotta do that one last dance type of thing, and like he finally got that dance. Obviously Tony saying I am Iron Man, that's like the first thing that like really like kickstart the whole universe as far as that.
The Hail Hydra moment is like incredible.
It's so good.
And the funniest thing, like when Sitwell shows up, because Sitwell is also on the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show, so when Ethan and I watched that show together, we knew because they reveal in Winter Soldier that he's a traitor. And we knew he was going to betray them. Every time he was on screen, we would just look and just be like, motherfucking Sitwell. So when he shows up, I looked over at Ethan. I was like, motherfucking Sitwell. He just shook his head laughing. But yeah, that is such it's such a good reference to the comics, to like another totally separate series of comics. That everyone was so upset about, but 2, it's like such a good play. It's such that's like smart Cap who's been in the game for a long time versus like 2012 Cap who's a little green still. Like It's such a great like moment for that character.
And for the fact that they because it's shot scene for scene just like the Winter Soldier scene, because like they had to set up to like make it look just like that scene, so you think about the fight in the elevator again like you did in Winter Soldier.
It looks like he's about to say, "Does anyone want to get out?" And then he says something else, and you're like, "Oh, this is so good." Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, that's like that and the Cap versus Cap fight is so good, and the America's ass moment is obviously so good. There's so many like the lines in this movie hit like 1,000 times harder, I think, than any other line. And it helps.
Sure.
It helps that like the cast is so shrunk down from Infinity War that they can give everyone's their moments, like Paul Rudd saying, "So wait, everything in Back to the Future is bullshit."
He was so good in this movie, like more than like I felt
So
like
good.
ever before. Paul Rudd, like for some reason, like
Man,
like
I get all the emotions from him too.
yeah, because like oh yeah, him and his daughter,
So
God.
good, dude.
But like it's not like I didn't. I mean, like I enjoyed Ant-Man. Like I wasn't too hot on Ant-Man and the Wasp, but like it was like something about this movie and him being in this movie that really like made me really like Scott Lang, like for some reason. Like it's something about this movie in general. I guess because like you said, like all his emotions that he had, just like being like the fish out of water, not knowing anything, hearing Thor talk about this, like the dark elves and like the dark elves, ooh, and like, and then he's just like so flabbergasted, like, oh my god, like, and everybody else is like, we know about this.
Yeah, we
so,
know.
like,
Don't worry about it. Dark elves, you don't have to worry about them anymore. He's like, what? Yeah, like I loved Ant-Man and the Wasp. So like, especially like when Wasp shows up, like at certain moments in the end, I was like so excited for like absolutely no necessarily good reason, but I really liked her character. I really liked what they did with her.
Me too.
And obviously like the female Avengers moment is like incredible for me. Like I got like so many chills during that.
And I think they did that the right way too. Like there's some people think it's hokey, but like I think they did it the right way because it's like it can just be the scene. Like if you want to like infer to like it's all women on screen, blah 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 blah. But like I think it's just a great scene in general. Just like them just going at it.
And
so
like Captain Marvel starts it off too. She's the one that kind of shows up as like the first female Avenger. You know.
Yeah, and it's not. It's like when I say this is like I mean it's like isn't it like she says like okay now it's time for the girls to do or something like that. It's not like, it's no line like that. It's just like here we go and like they're just there and like it's just a scene with them doing it.
And it's just
awesome.
It's just awesome. It's just absolutely awesome. Yeah, I like that was the thing where I saw it. I'm like, this is like a lot, and it's like fan service levels of crazy, but I'm so into it. Same with like Cap getting Thor's hammer, right? It was like they set this up. You know, they teased it in another Avengers movie, which is cool. I like the through line of like the 4 Avengers movies specifically to this. Of like in Age of Ultron, a lot of Age of Ultron payoffs in this, which is really cool. And then they just delivered on it, and it was like just awesome. It's like, yes, this is ridiculous, but everything in this scene is ridiculous. So like, let's just let it be awesome, you know? This is like the Avengers Assemble moment, the On Your Left moment, like all these like incredible moments. Again, like that whole battle scene, I didn't expect at all. So I was just in the moment for it, front to back. And everything that they delivered in that, like Spider-Man riding on Valkyrie's Pegasus, is just like such a dumb, great little crossover moment that we had. It's like, man, they've really done something incredible here.
Yeah, dude.
And any 2 of these characters could pair up, and it's like, cool. I would take 2.5 hours of that right now. And the fact that they've like done something like that is so cool. Yeah.
Oh man, there's so much I just love about it. And like I said, like it's like if I'm gonna be real, like probably my favorite moment of that entire movie, like in general, was the credits.
Yeah,
like in the weirdest way, because it's like when I see like the autographs and like just like the pictures like looking just great, like
Hi Tony.
Hello.
And then just like
the signatures.
Yeah, like that was just like something for me. Like I and like it feels like a good solitary end, even though Spider-Man is supposed to be like the end cap of the phase or whatever. But like
obviously like this is the real ending though, so
yeah. Like if anything, like Far From Home will just be the thing that will be like addressing like the 5-year gap. Like I'm assuming like like probably like, oh, you graduated like 5 years ago, and like you know, like like half our classmates are gone or something like that. Maybe I don't know, but like yeah.
I liked it a lot. It was very fun. Time heist, baby. You're ruining the time heist. Such a good one. That's like a very much like a you're embarrassing me in front of the wizards moment, which I'm a big fan of. Yeah, I felt very good about it too, and I think like I just had like it was hard for me to take it all in, honestly, which I don't think is unfair because there's a lot that happens in that movie. But yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I was literally gonna see it again today this morning, but at like 8:00, because the theater was open. But like, I just needed to get some rest a little bit more. So
yeah,
I had a rough week.
Yeah, I feel you. I might end up seeing it again tomorrow though, but I also have not gotten a lot of sleep this week. So, all right, I think that's gonna end it for Endgame spoilers. It's a very fun movie. If you've not seen it, I don't know why you hung out for this part, but you should see it. It's fun. Thanks everybody for watching. Have a good night.